Hey, everybody. Howdy, 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 howdy. Hey, B will be right here. She's dealing with a mess downstairs, so let me turn my phone down here. There we go. All right. Let me see if I can get caught up before B gets here. Rickster, good evening. Big Kid, hello. How are you? Sweet Avery Words. Yeah, we're going to talk about the storms a little bit tonight. Eagle Lover, good evening. Hey, Gypsy, what's going on? Terminator. Hippocrates Garden, good evening. Spags, hello. Prep for the Eternal Homestead, hello. Good evening to you. One step closer. What's up, bud? I think I said Spags already, but if I didn't, hey, bud, how are you? Rain Country, good evening to you, both Mr. and Mrs. Hey, I've got some news for you guys, by the way. Mr. Rain, you and I need to talk in the next day or so if you got time. I think I finished that whole thing up today, but anyway, we'll see. Drummondson Live, good evening to you. Big Kid, I did not see that with your stove last night. I will go dig into it, but I was just tore up all day today. I haven't had any time to do anything. So, Half Bubble Off Plum, greatest name on the internet. My buddy Silver Lining, how are you? See who else we got in here. Weapons Junkie, good evening to you. LJC, how are you? I hope the other half of you had a good day today. I have not seen him. Dog Creek Farm, good evening to you. Yeah, somehow I got a feeling, Heidi, that Mr. Rain is in trouble quite often. I think. All right, good to hear, Silver Lining, that Mandy's okay. Easy, good evening to you. Wendy Benjamin, hello, welcome. Hey, so I thought, let me see, RN, good evening to you. I thought we'd start a little bit with the storms and kind of in the, because the Sweet Savory Words early on, she was talking about praying for all these people who are, kind of going through it. Mary Michelle, hello, good evening. Andrew Adams, hello, good evening. I think I got everybody. Anyway, I think I got into a conversation with a homesteader out here yesterday and the day before about all of this crazy weather and building for it, planning for the 80-mile-an-hour straight line winds, planning for heavy rains, planning for heavy snow, and those kind of things. And so I'd be interested if any of you guys have any tips on ways we can build stronger. And to me, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can lock in your keyways well. You can use, hurricane clips, and you can use, a lot of these things that make it tougher. But I'd be interested for you guys to just kind of, if you guys have any other ideas that would help people. Barbara S., good evening to you. ACM, good evening. See you soon. Hey, Guy, what's up? You see Pack Rat, hello. Hello, Tag. Yes, I want my next home to be a vault. Well, I think this is important. Today we had 50-mile-an-hour straight line winds most of the day, and it was horrendous. I mean, it was blowing stuff around, and so I think we have to, as we build, I think we have to start thinking about how do we build to that next level, right? Gosh. I mean, you experienced.
I don't know how.
What did you think of the winds today?
Yeah, well, I fished the fish food bucket out of the pond, and then some trash, and the gutter from the side of the house was around the front of the house. Like, things are just, I don't like it. I feel
That's all you got to say is I don't like it?
I feel it in the house. Like, I feel the pressure in the house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's shifting or if it's catching or what, but
well, babe, you got 50-mile-an-hour straight line winds coming up over that hill directly at the front of our house. That's a lot of pressure. This is a big house. Our house is fine.
I can feel it in the inside.
Yeah. But I really think we need to start figuring out how to build stronger. Hey, Torch Joy and Freedom is here tonight. Hey, I met them at the Self-Reliance Festival. Fabulous young couple who is striving to get freer and freer and trying to figure out exactly what that means. And so there's tons of support here for you guys, and anywhere you go, we're always an email away. We're always a call away. And I had a great time. I'm going to talk about the dinner and some of those things here a little bit, but super glad you're here. Grumpy Acre says, well, at least I figured one thing out today. You figured out Yoda? Or is that Yoda saying, okay, got it. Linda Hamilton, hello from Oklahoma. RN says, build below ground if you are not in any danger of flooding. Yeah. Yep.
Let me see.
Remember, a lot of the advice that's given is stuff that came from when houses and buildings were built much different. Bathtubs were cast iron, not fiberglass. Yeah. But I think there are ways we can build today. I mean, when I go build things, today, like eaves and overhangs and those kind of things, I'm putting extra effort into blocking. I'm putting extra effort into sealing that from an uplift, making sure I clip, put hurricane clips on everything and, joist hangers on everything and make sure everything's really secure. Maybe use hugel mounds on the side of the house where the worst winds tend to come from. That's actually a good idea. Problem is they come from a lot of different directions. We pretty much get them from every direction except from the east here. Let me see. Tag, I'm in the middle of Tennessee. I don't care what it takes. I want to be able to sleep through the night without huddling in the bathtub with a mattress on our heads. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. But I think as we build, I think there are things like that we can do. There's things that we can do to make it stronger. I overbuild everything, but I'm really beginning to look harder and harder at when I build, can I build in a manner that just strengthens things more and more and more? Something so simple as shelving on a wall. Can I tie it into my walls in a manner that, makes it stronger? And I'm just thinking more and more of those things. Towards Joy and Freedom, you're very welcome. Let me see here. Cul-de-sac, good evening to you. And by the way, Cul-de-sac, that was a great message on squash. It was ridiculous. Cul-de-sac sent us a message on freesteading saying that the only problem you had is that you did not grow 10 varieties.
Offer more kinds. Because then you
which is ridiculous.
You liked.
Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous.
I think she's onto something though.
Yep. Bird's Eye View Homestead's here. Hello, hello.
Yes, hello.
Yep. I know you guys got your hands full. It was a long hands full day for me too. Silver Lining says my mom's answer to the tornado was to offer me a pillow. This is the life. Indiana Mike, ahoy, bud. Did you guys get a lot done today? Skanes Girl, good evening to you. Let me see here. I want to build a root cellar I could live in, then a small cabin on top, taxed for the cabin and living space. Yep. The key is to do what you are doing. Most mass-built homes are built for speed and low cost, not strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just a great example. Build with 2x6s instead of 2x4s. Right? Just the little things that we do. When you put your trusses on your house, maybe putting them 24 inches on center is not such a good idea. Maybe moving all that to 16 inches on center is better. Just those kinds of things, Let me see here. What did Grumpy say? Lucy, mailed your shirt out okay? Dana, hello. Good evening to you. Double up on hurricane clip hangers. Yeah, that's another good one. You could put one on both sides of the truss. Eagle Lover says, doesn't Florida use cinder blocks for walls? Yeah, that's another thing. Build with ICFs or cinder blocks, for your walls. Yeah, Indiana Mike said they moved a lot of stuff. Let me see. I think I'm pretty. A big problem is that many banks won't finance non-conventional homes like concrete, monolithic dome homes, which can shrug off a tornado. Yeah, well, the good news is I think we should be striving not to use the banks anyway, because they're a huge part of the problem. I want to talk about the dollar and what's going on with it, because I am super concerned right now. But I'll get to that here in a little bit. Cul-de-sac says, my brother was a firefighter for many years. The fire department built steel frame houses in their spare time because they thought that was more safe. I don't know if it's better for tornadoes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure it would be. Hey, Tag, how much strength difference do you think there is between true dimensional lumber versus this 1.5 by whatever? Well, I think that'd be a kind of a simple thing to figure out, right? Because a traditional 2x4 that's actually 2 inches, right, is 25% more, wood. So I would imagine that by adding 25% wood, you're gaining even more than that in strength. So maybe 30%, maybe 35%. Big Kid, was that a trick question? Do you already know the answer? Because you're a pretty smart guy. So if you do, though, I think that's interesting. I think that's absolutely interesting. If you know the answer, I'd love to know it. Mm-hmm. You know what in Arkansas divorce and a tornado have in common? Someone's going to lose the trailer.
Oh, no.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So anyway, okay, so the weather. Hey, make sure we're praying for all of our brothers and sisters out there who are going through that. I know it's quite the storm. So, my thoughts are with you guys. and you guys hang in there. And if I can do anything, I mean, most of you in here know how to contact me.
Yeah.
If we can do anything, certainly, let us know. It seems like Kansas is getting missed by all these. You've had all these storms that are going right up underneath us, and then through over to Tennessee and Kentucky and Louisiana and Alabama and and all of these. And I'm not sure why, but
that's common though, right? I mean, that's what happened last year too.
Well,
right?
last year too, but 10 years ago, this was Tornado Alley. 15 years ago, it was Oklahoma and Kansas. But it really seems to me it's not the case anymore. Like the whole thing shifted. I've been trying to pay attention to it for a few years.
To the south, to the east.
I think it's been shifting to the east. So I think Tornado Alley now runs up through, parts of Arkansas, up through Tennessee, Kentucky.
Oh, still coming.
Illinois, but still doing that same thing. It's just shifted over, however many hundreds of miles. It seems to me that that's what's going on.
Well, they keep saying that is what's going on too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the
shift
is going on.
Yeah, well, we haven't had hardly any tornadoes here in a decade. I mean, a few, but not like it used to be. Anyway, so Tag, I have been thinking that about KC, but I didn't want to say it out loud. Well, now you did. Let me see here. It's weird that all the wind has been missing North Texas as well. Yes, it's definitely different. LJC says climate change. Yeah, and I think it's hard to argue that we don't have climate change going on. What causes it, I think you can argue. I think there's all kinds of stuff like that, but it is definitely different. Like here, we're getting more rain than we used to, hotter summers, colder winters. I mean, this winter we had a day that had wind chill of minus 41. I don't remember a day here that ever had that before. Maybe it's because I was digging up sewer lines that day. I don't know. But one big thing to remember in a disaster, if you're not trained in rescue and part of an organized response, stay the heck out of the way. Looky-loos just make things harder and dangerous. It was noting how the Tornado Alley has shifted too. Yeah. She said Self-reliance, she was noting it too. Yeah, it has absolutely moved to the other side of us, which is completely weird. But I think Alabama and Mississippi have been in Tornado Alley for decades. RN says, yeah. And it's been going on a while. The last 10 years have really noticed it. Drummond's Live says, whatever you build, use screws and glue instead of just nails. I could not agree more. When we built this house, it's all screws, with the exception of the trim, floor trim and window trim, which I used a finish nailer for. The rest of it is all screws and glue. That's great advice.
That's not a normal building technique.
No, babe. Most houses that are built today are used by with a nail gun, and they're just shooting nails and everything, Let me see. It's Rick's true. Do you think it might be because of shifting poles? Actually, Gypsy, I do think that's what's causing it, because the poles are clearly shifting, and I wish Data was in here because he tracks that stuff better than anyone I know. But we know that the poles are moving. And so I would say that's logical.
Yeah.
But that was only for a couple of days, says JB, that it was that cold. The rest of the winter has been pretty mild compared to years ago. I agree with that. We don't get anywhere near enough snow. I mean, I don't know what we got this year, maybe a foot.
I have no idea.
All year. Hey, Deborah, how are you? Okay, so what do we got next time? I did one. What do you got?
You've already talked about self-reliance?
Nope.
Well,
I talked about the weather and building stronger.
So the weather. I had that on my list too, because I was going to say, are you guys in this whole windy thing that's going on right now? This is insane. Did you talk about the fire?
Nope, not yet. What do you want to talk about? Pick one.
Let's talk about the fire.
Okay, the fire. So we had
the wind played a role in that.
Yeah. So we had a neighbor who owns next to us, and I would consider him part of the fourth circle. And maybe I should cover that real quick again, because if anybody's on here, they don't understand what I'm talking about. I've talked about it many, many times. But basically, the circles are what I consider the crew, the mag, and the mind. So the crew is the inner crew. It's what we work together. We build barns together. We, whatever it is. And then you have the mag, which, stands for Mutual Assistance Group. And that group is, we're doing group buys. We're going to events together. We're putting on festivals. And even they get into the Homestead rotation, in a lot of ways. And then you have the mind, which is everybody that's like-minded. And this is this big pool of people that you get to network with and do these things. But outside of that ring is what I consider the fourth circle. And the fourth circle is those people who are who tend to lean like-minded but aren't super involved. Maybe they don't prep, maybe they don't homestead.
Maybe they do,
Maybe they don't.
Maybe they do one, not the other.
So anyway, so my neighbor I would consider to be in that fourth circle. And he's a part-time deputy here and owns a business in just 6 miles from me. But anyway, so he came up and he said, hey, I'm going to burn this field, which is the field right next to my house. And you want to take over from here because you harassed him a little bit?
Well,
I think that the beginning story is important.
Actually, I saw somebody on a mower and I wanted to make sure that they were not mowing down the cedar trees that I had planted along the property line. And so I saw somebody on a tractor pulling a mower. So I walked up there to just make sure that my trees were okay. And he saw me standing there. So he got off the mower and got on his Ranger and drove over to me. And he said he was mowing I don't know, there's a name for that. He was mowing a section so that he could burn. And this section was between the area that he doesn't want mowed or that he didn't want burned. And
between the two properties.
Yeah. So he was clearing it so it did not catch on fire. And he assured me that he knew what he was doing and that he had been doing it his whole life. And he knew how to get a hold of people if he needed to. And then you had said, I have a tank on my Kubota if you want me to fill it up with water. And he said, no, not necessary. And so we said goodbye. And I said, okay, well, I'm not even going to look. I'm going to just mind my own business and do my own thing. And so I had been doing some stuff in the kitchen. I had a bowl of chicken scraps and I walked out to the bucket to put it in there. And I saw the smoke and I put the chicken scraps in the bucket and came right back in. And then you came downstairs and said, we have a problem.
Yeah. So
you said, grab the water. You said, where's the pump? Where's the water pump?
So he lights this fire and it's pretty tall grass. And so it gets pretty tall and it's pushing very, very fast towards my gas tanks. I have 2 500-gallon gas tanks, one diesel, one unleaded, and they're both full. And so it's pushing towards there fast while I'm watching him. And he's driving into these, he's trying to stop it. He's driving into these flames with his Ranger, which has the water tank on the back of it. And he gets in there and the flames burn up his electricity and down goes his Ranger. Now we don't have any water. And is that you? Yeah. So anyway, so now I'm going, we're in trouble. So I run downstairs, I grab a tank, I head over to start helping. I tell Bethany, go get the Kubota, because her Kubota, she uses it to water plants, but she's got a beautiful tank in the back that we can use. So she headed up to go and
to the well
to fill her tank. I can't leave it full because it's still freezing sometimes at night, which means it'll break pipes. Anyway, so she heads up there. We start fighting it. It catches a whole pile of my plywood on fire. You guys know where my shipping containers is. The fire went all the way down the shipping containers.
Between the 2 shipping containers on the sides of the shipping containers.
The garden burned all through the garden a lot. And it got, underneath my gas tanks. So pretty quick though, the good news is that we started to put it out. We all worked together. B made a phone call. We had some people,
one of the neighbors.
Yep. We had some help come over and
some other neighbors.
Yep. And so we all started battling this fire. It took us a couple hours to get it under control. We finally got it under control. I lost some tricycles, some tires on some tillers. I lost plywood. My barrels got pretty burned. Yep. The leaf collector from our previous
yard
house.
Waste collector.
It got all burned up. And so, but I think what was so interesting about it, and I got a video, my next video that comes out is the fire. I filmed it, not us fighting it because I was busy, but the aftermath of it. But I think what was really beautiful about it is that even though he wasn't directly in our community, a phone call was made, our community responded, and everything's okay and everybody's okay. And he got the worst of it because he now has a Ranger with all the Polaris with all the wires burnt up in it. And so we were out there battling. Now it was nice. He said, hey, just give me a bill for anything I burned. And I won't give him a bill. We'll just suck it up and we'll go on with our day. But they bought pizza after we got it all put out, and we got to hang out a little bit and chit chat. So we grew our relationship.
We were introduced to the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now we know what they look like.
Yeah. Well, I knew that before.
You knew what they look like?
Yeah. Remember when they came down with the bulldozer? when the track hoe got stuck and they were watching rust pulls out. Yeah, I knew him. But
yeah, I was on the other side of that.
Yeah,
I was not on that side of the dam or ditch.
Yeah, so it's cool. But I think again, what I think I want to point out to everybody is
working together.
No, not just that. When trouble comes, whatever that trouble is, who are you going to call? And the people you call, are they going to respond?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why community matters so much, is because just like this, the most likely shit hit the fan event ever, fire, happened. And it happened right here to us. Wasn't a fire I started, right? But it happened to us, and we all had to jump together. But the community came together. The fire department was not called. It burned 5 or 6 acres of land. And we're going to have to do some recovering from it. Yeah, our garden. We're going to have to do some work, but it's okay. We made it through.
Yeah.
I have no idea where I am, so I'll.
Oh yeah, that was a lengthy fire.
Yeah,
story.
that's
okay.
Let me see here.
Oh, and don't store your stuff on the property line.
Yeah, that was interesting too. After thinking about what did we do wrong, it's not so much that we did it wrong, but
could have been avoided.
I mean, that stack of plywood was right on the property line, so when the neighbor's burning, I have no control if the neighbor burns.
Right.
I have no control. I can't have any say in it. None of that stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe if I had not had that stuff on the property line, I could, shield it a little bit better. I don't know. But, a lot to think about for sure. So, guys, I don't know where I'm at in the comments. So I'm just going to pick up where, and if I missed one, just please put it back in there. Oh, my gosh, we've been under a burn ban and a wind advisory for 3 days now. Good grief. We are even all warned not to park on grass because of the hot engine can start a dry grass fire.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was significant. And when it took off, I mean, there were flames 15 feet tall, And this is why TAG has a lookout tower. Yeah, because you know what's crazy about that, LJCs? I was in the lookout tower. I was up here in my office working.
Yeah.
And I can see all the windows.
I
can see 365 degrees on my property. And I noticed it, and we, got to work and got to action. But what was crazy, if I not been home.
Oh, I wasn't watching it.
And his Ranger would have been in that fire.
Yeah.
And there'd have been nobody to come to his aid. I would have lost many, many, many things,
Yeah. Well, that gasoline tank would have.
Packrat says, I definitely want our next house to be insulated concrete form, ICF construction, and figure out how to do a poured concrete or other roof of equal resilience. Yeah. ICF houses are great. Sounds like the guy really knew what he was doing, says Rain Country.
Yes, I made sure to.
Yeah, but that was kind of a nice thing too, because afterwards B got to torture him. Like he got a taste of the governor. Right. When, we joke around here and people call her the governor because she can be kind of,
Kind of.
Yeah. Grumpy says, sorry that happened. Thank God we moved our stuff out. Dang. Yeah. Because Grumpy, where your stuff was, that's where the fire came through too. Yeah. Nurse Wang, hey, how are you? Nowhere Homestead. Good evening to you. Yep. A life lesson learned, says Richter. It was a good lesson.
Yeah. Okay,
all right, this is cool. So Mr. Rain says to Big Kid, if my math is correct, the difference between a rough sawn 2x6 and an S4S 1.5 by 5.5 is 31.245% more material. Perhaps someone can double check me. Yeah, that's beautiful. ACM says, sorry to hear that. You know what, ACM? This is going to sound crazy to you. I'm glad it happened because it did several things. I mean, yes, I lost some stuff that we're going to have to recover from. But at the same time, I got to build a bond with a neighbor I didn't have a super relationship with. I mean, I knew him and, I would say hi to him or whatever. But, so it gave me the opportunity to build that. It also gave me the opportunity to get some more experience at putting out fires. We've had a few now and we're getting better and better at it. And we're getting better equipment. After I went and bought some more equipment, to make sure that we can fight the fire. So that was good. We got to see community get together again and demonstrate once again that we're a community. And so it wasn't all bad, Yeah. RN says, sorry that happened to y'all, but y'all have a wonderful attitude about the whole situation. Yeah. Well, what else do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jules says, the biggest thing is you learn from your experience.
Yeah.
Oh, we learned all kinds of stuff. Metal Roof says Hippocrates Garden. Yep. Yeah. Mr. Rain says, I love the idea of ICS. I think he means ICF, but he was close. I just can't stand those type of life lessons. But except here's the thing, the things you learn, Grumpy Acres, guys, Grumpy Acres, you guys go back in Grumpy Acres videos. They had a chicken coop catch fire and kill 300 birds. But the things you learned through that process, yes, it sucks. You went through it. But if you focus in on that lesson, you focus in on what in the world is God trying to teach me right here? right?
Yeah.
If you focus in on that, I think you can get through it, pretty good. Cul-de-sac says, glad it wasn't worse for you. I would have had a hard time not telling the guy it was a stupid idea to burn this week and would have said, you better not do it. See, but here's the thing. I have no choice.
Yeah.
It's his land. He can burn any day he wants to. That's totally up to him. And I could have taken that road, but what I would have done is I would have created a divide between him and I. And guys, the world's getting worse by the day. It is just getting worse. And so I decided to take the other path and say, hey, bud, look, shit happens. And I hope someday I don't burn your field down. But if I do, remember this day.
I think too that before he lit it, he knew that I was not happy.
No, he knew. Yeah, he knew. Gypsy says, lesson learned, install a sprinkler system down your fence line. See, that's what I'm talking about right there, Gypsy.
Sprinkler system.
Yeah, because I could certainly run water through a pump. Easy. And then run a piece of PEX all the way down the line with some heads on it.
Jeez.
With a drainage, flip a switch, water.
Yeah.
Hippocrates says 2x4s. If the cost was not as much of a matter, an engineered beam would have essentially the same or better strength, less material, less heat transfer. Let me see here. Hey, okay, never mind. Oops. Sorry, guys. I have to read through, and when people are talking together, I skip those and just get to the questions or the statements. Maybe so, maybe no, but I can say the stove runs hotter than its exhaust. I know, not possible, but that's what 2 different temperature gauges tell me. The main thing is learning from those experiences. Stuff can be replaced, lives cannot. Yeah, guys, and we might have lost a few $100s in things. But I'm going to tell you what came from it is far more valuable to me, than the rest of it. So, Cul-de-sac says, tag and B, you are better people than I am. I just learned a lesson from you, but I still have a hard time not popping off my opinion. Cul-de-sac, I have a hard time too, and B has a harder time than I do because I'm a pretty patient guy. But here's the thing: you have to always acknowledge what do you stand to win and what do you stand to lose, and you have to go through that. I go through that in my mind. Had I jumped his ass about it and wrote him a bill, you owe me $200 for this stuff. Let's just say that would have all happened. Now all of a sudden life gets tough, and I've got a deputy sheriff next to me who don't like me because I'm an asshole. Right. And then the other side is that he
has kids, and there are neighbors, and they're our age, and
there's another big thing is that by him doing it to my land, he was humbled, right? He was embarrassed, and so because he was embarrassed, him and I got to connect on a new level, right? And so it was taking advantage of that, and again, building community. Rickster says, "Don't mess with Queen Bee." Yeah, a lot of people say that. Nurse Wang says, thanks for sharing your pain and how you're not getting angry, but building community, way to set the example. Guys, again, Nurse Wang, thank you for that. But the truth is, as I looked at it, I really didn't see another alternative that would come out good.
Yeah.
And I obviously don't want to make an enemy to a guy that owns 80 acres around me. Right. And I may need him someday and he may need me someday. But what he learned is that I'm an all right guy and that I'm not going to get hot headed. I'm not going to punch him. I'm not going to say you owe me $1 million. That we're going to work together, and we did. I would have just walked away. My mouth would have been caustic. Barbie Not Doll, hello, and how are you? Yeah, B walked away. She goes, I'm not watching.
No, he said he had it under control. There was no need for me to even put my nose into it until you said we have a problem.
Yeah,
and then. I was keeping it fresh. That's the thing I don't understand. Like the wind was supposed to have been blowing to the west, which is, he lit it on that property line, hoping it would blow west, and it blew east, not east and north. So it was like right towards our house, and I don't know how, I'm not a fire expert by any means, but
but here's
it
the thing,
looked like it was headed this way.
Winds shift.
Oh,
I mean, Mother Nature is tougher than we'll ever be. I mean, you're not going to control it.
Right.
I mean, and so we got some experience on how to put out a fire. We got to build community. We paid a small price. It's fine.
It was daylight too. I mean, it was right at dusk. So, the last fire went into the nighttime. So, right. which was a lot scarier.
LJC says the lesson could also be take a big breath and assess the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny, you guys. First of all, LJC, that's a perfect statement, and I could not agree more, and nor could I say it better.
Yeah.
But you know, when I'm talking to other people about moving into our community, you know, sometimes I like to ask them questions like, you know, if your neighbor's dog comes over and kills a chicken, how do you handle it? What do you think's a fair response?
Shoot the dog.
Right. I want to know this.
Sue the neighbor.
I want to know this too, because those things will tell me so much about conflict resolution.
Mm-hmm.
When, if what we all believe is true, which is things will get harder and harder, the way we deal with conflict resolution, right? The way we deal with that will have a big impact on our peace.
Yeah.
And so I think these are huge things, you know, and I love the answers that come back. Oh, I would go talk to them. We would negotiate, and, you know, I'd charge them $25, or
what?
For the chicken. Right, because the dog killed the chicken.
I thought you were talking about the fire. Sorry.
And that doesn't mean you just walk away. Maybe that's the fair deal. But the point is I think focusing on conflict resolution is great for a community, in my opinion.
Well, there's always going to be conflict.
Yeah,
always.
Terminator says, Tag, I finally got on your site through Google and ordered a T-shirt and an apron today. Yeah, so last night on the Zoom, I showed. I built a T-shirt that said, what would Terminator do? And it has an old lady with a pitchfork, and it just says, what would Terminator do? And we had a good laugh, and it's funny. And, you know, for those of you guys who don't know Terminator, there's a reason why we call her the Terminator.
And it's a cute shirt.
Yeah. Indian traditional justice wasn't about vengeance or anything. It was about community, says Cletus. Long-term cohesion called, I'm going to totally butcher this, panchayat.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that. Wind shift happens. Yes, it does. Hey, Miley, how are you? Fire flows past path is what he was saying, of least resistance with the right fuel combo. I've seen the leading edge get lit and it walk backwards and fast into a headwind. Yeah. It just happens, right?
It just happens.
Yeah. My granddad told me that it takes more effort to make a friend than an enemy, but in the grand scheme of things, it's better off in the long run. Totally agree. Good time to splamish some fire breaks. I agree with that. This is something B and I have been talking about now, is about, okay, is there something we can do here?
Yeah.
You know? All right, where are we at?
Things you don't think of at first. You know, you think, yo, get in there, put up some water, put up some solar, put up a house.
Yep, Teapot, good evening to you. And yeah, there's a lot of people in the tornado's path. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. All right, so is it my turn? God, I have so much stuff going on. Okay, so let's real quick. So just what's coming out. So we got the fire video coming out. We got a creme brulee video, right? B made creme brulee on the wood stove.
Okay.
Coming out. Today, I built a wood rack. So I've got so much milled wood because when we knocked all the trees down for the pond, all the big stuff we milled into lumber. Mm-hmm. And so I've got piles and piles and piles up. So I'm trying to figure out how to get it all stacked off the ground. So I built a wood rack today that holds 4x8 sheets plus milled lumber plus a bunch of other stuff. So anyway, I filmed it all today. I haven't put it all into a video, but we'll have that coming out here pretty quick. We got rock going on pod 4, right?
Yes.
So yes. I have a kind of acquaintance. I would maybe consider the fifth circle. But anyway, who was in a need of some work. And so he said he would rock all of pod 4 for $500. So instead of having B do it, I went ahead and paid him to do it so B can focus on the garden and this, because you'll talk about that tonight, I'm assuming too, because there's a lot of stuff going on, you know, with that stuff. Yep, I think I said hi to Miley. If I didn't, Miley, hello. Tag needs an old school water tower on his place. Well, we've started building a tower, as you know, Spags. I don't know how much water it'll hold, but Richter said, did I order 1 or 2 aprons? I only wanted 1. If I did order 2, put the other money towards my other order, please. Yeah, you'll have, but if you order 2 and you get 2, you'll have to send it back to Spreadshirt or whatever. That because I don't.
It's not through us.
It's not through us. Yeah, it's through them. But we'll work it out, Richter. Don't worry about it. Cul-de-sac says, I watched Ryan Hall, y'all, all day. It's awful what is happening. Purposefully took a break from it. Be right back. I have to put bread in the oven.
Ooh, bread.
Yeah, something's weird. My question is, why did he strike a match on a windy day? Here you would get permission to burn. Well, the problem is that, yeah, this is an interesting topic. So there's a lot of people, including this guy, who does not believe he needs to ask permission to burn on his property or to build on his property or to whatever. That's a very good thing about where we live, is you have a lot of that minded. The bad thing is exactly what happened. So I could have pushed that for sure. Potpourri, hey, how are you? I think we got to the bottom. Okay, so that's what we had going on. Let's talk about the Self-Reliance Festival.
Okay, yeah.
So
you just got back.
Yeah, so I just got back from the Self-Reliance Festival. You guys seen the video from yesterday. We started driving, and then me and Spags and Data and Indiana Mike decided that we would start playing a game with Yoda and
Poking at him.
And G-Dog and Patty and Darren from Hacks from the Homestead, from Grumpy Acres and Hacks from the Homestead. They put out this cute little video that talked about snacks, and so we replied. Anyway, it went back and forth. The good news is it really made the trip go by quick because we were, messing with each other.
Poking back and forth.
Yeah. And so it was a lot of fun. But so I got there Saturday. I walk in the door, and John Willis walks right up to me and grabs me by the shoulder and says, "Hey, come on, we're going to go do a podcast." So at some point, there's a podcast coming out.
Oh, good.
Where I don't know when, but so we went and did that.
It'll be on his channel.
Yeah, it'll be on his channel.
Okay.
And it was good. We had a good conversation. He actually gave me just some really cool kudos. He and for those of you guys who know John, John's a tough guy. He's a successful business owner, and he's all of these, and you'll see on the podcast. But he, looked right at me and said, "Hey, I look up to you, Tag, and keep doing what you're doing, keep fighting that fight." And so it was honoring for me, to go through that. But anyway,
that is cool.
Yeah. So hey, Starlet Doke, how are you? So anyway, so I get out of there, and then I'm supposed to speak. So I'm up next. So I spoke about living off grid, just kind of some of the challenges and kind of what to expect doing that. But the cool thing is that when I got out of there, if you guys remember a live that I did just a couple lives ago, John from SOE Special Operations Equipment was in there, and we were talking about tactical gear and all of this stuff. And I'd said to him on there, I said, I don't know why we don't make chocolate brown gear, because the military uses gray, black, blue,
coyote,
right? Coyote, green. They use all the flat, dark color, the flat earth colors, except chocolate brown. And I thought I'd really like to have some stuff with chocolate brown. I didn't think anything of it. Nothing. I went about my life. Just did my thing. And then next thing I know, he's pulling me aside, and he custom made me. Look at this.
Chocolate brown.
So he custom made me this backpack, right? And this chest rig.
What do you call this? Is this green and brown?
No, it's
what is
brown and coyote.
So brown
and coyote.
brown.
Yeah.
Chocolate and coyote.
So anyway, John at SOE custom made me a Life Done Free chocolate brown gear, and
I do like those colors together.
Yeah. What's amazing to me is, he has to change up his machines, right, to do this.
Yeah.
Right. This isn't just you just go sit and he's not hand sewing anything. He has a production line, and so he had to stop what he was doing,
switch everything
to put the chocolate brown into production.
Well, to buy it if you didn't already make it,
right? And it's made actually out of Carhartt brown. It actually comes from the Carhartt color. But anyway, it was bad. It was just amazing.
Bad.
It was. I was going to say badass, but yeah,
wonderful.
It was wonderful. So it was just super, super cool. One of the highlights for me.
I do like that color.
Let me see. Hey, Melody, how are you? Says hi, Tag and B. Hatfields from Cincinnati. Uncle Bodie, what's up, buddy? See if I can get caught up here. Cul-de-sac says those are nice looking. They're nice. And I'm going to hang them up. And my brown backpack, I'm going to now take as my traveling bag because it is one of a kind. Nobody can have it. It's mine. And it was just neat. The gesture, was super neat. And there was a lot of those that happened that I'm going to talk about tonight. That just, like I think sometimes we forget, that, that we impact people or whatever it is, but that was just super honoring to me. Spag says that micro rig is the last chest rig you'll ever need. That's so cool that he made that. Yeah, Spags, I was like totally honored, and he's a really good guy. For those of you guys who know him, I mean, he's considerate and he's, compassionate, and he's this big tough guy, but inside he's a really good guy. Hilltop Home Place, hello. Says stays daylight. Oops. So
Yeah.
late that I forgot about your live show. I'm now here. Yeah, the good news is we just started, right? Let me see here. Century 2. What? Okay, here you go. Cul-de-sac says, "What do you all think of the escalated threats this weekend? Who wants to stay home and away from the crazies? Who says not living in my car? Who says not living my life in fear? I got things to do." Yeah, I'm not living my life in fear. I can assure you of that. Because the truth is, the stories that you read are far worse than the truth. Right? They want the fear. They want us divided. They want us scared. They want us in our home.
Yeah.
And I absolutely will not live in fear. Now, I'm going to go armed, right? And I'm not going to back down. And I'm going to defend, my life and those kinds of things. But at the same time, I'm not living in fear. Do you have a different answer?
No.
Because you're kind of a chicken.
Yeah, I don't go out. I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to plant me some vegetables and I'm going to, I don't know, experiment with some goat's milk.
Mm-hmm. It was funny, you guys. I'm going to make fun of B real quick. Not like that's abnormal, but right. So we yesterday we went to the casino, which is about 6-7 miles.
I was gonna
from here.
say I thought 3, but yeah, it's
no, it's
not
about
far.
it's about 6 miles from here, and we're driving down the road because we were going to go meet my buddy Mo and Hitch and some of the other Homestead, just have dinner together. So we go to the casino because they have this big buffet not very far from me. Anyway, so guys, remember, it was 6 miles. So from my house to this place is 6 miles. And we're about halfway there. And B looks at me and goes, "Man, this is a long drive."
It is.
I'm like, "What are you
talking about?" It got longer than I remember. I don't I don't head that direction anymore. So I'm just like, wow, this is taking forever to get there. Geez.
What a dork.
Maybe it's not going to be worth it.
What a dork. His return.
But it was worth it.
It was a good meal. His return ASG says 8 F's of survival: family, food, fuel, finances, firearms, fortress, fire prevention, and faith. Drummond's Live says, "Got any freestanding pole flags?" I don't, but you know what? I would love to figure out a design for one because we could certainly make one. I have the stores to be able to do that. I just got to come up with a design to put one out there. Now maybe we could just put the logo on it, but it's very busy.
Yeah.
But if we came up with something, I would absolutely.
It's very busy.
Yeah. One step closer says, "You have squash to plant."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zucchini. Actually, I am working on taxes because we pay our taxes. So
yeah, I'd love not to. Hey, One Step Closer says you have squash to plant. But real quick, I want to point out something about One Step Closer. A couple things. Okay, important. First of all, they made me baked goodies when I got to SRF. Oh, we were talking about SRF, yeah. So they made me baked goodies, and it was funny. I brought them home, and you'll like this One Step Closer. So there was a whole bag of them, right? And so I brought them home, and we're unloading it. And so the first load comes out, and I've got stuff to do. I've got stuff to catch up on. I go to work on it. I come back in at night from being home, and this one has done a number on them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I got a little bit of it, but what I got was absolutely fabulous. Okay, so back to SRF. So anyway, so he gave me the bags. That was super, super cool. And then I met great person after great person after great person. That was just absolutely amazing to me. And so let me talk about Saturday, right? Because that was the kind of the first day there. So I had all kinds of cool things. You didn't bring up any of those seeds, did you? The big seed bags?
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, no.
They were like 50 pounds.
Yeah. Okay, so I met, and I'm gonna get back to them, but I met.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, Towards Joy and Freedom, which is in the live tonight on Saturday. But we just pretty much just passed ways and said, "Hey, what's up?" And but that story grows as time wears on. But so I met this guy right here. Let me see if you guys can see this here. Okay, I'm gonna hold it just in case anyone wants to copy it down, and you can go back and pause it too.
It's kind of blurry.
Is that better? Okay. Anyway, so this guy grows organic seed up in Montana, and he ships and all of this stuff. But he said, "Hey, I know you got a big community. I like watching you guys. Can I give you some seed and you can share it with your community?" I'm like,
quantities large and small.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. And so he gave me 4 25-pound bags of seed, which was barley, wheat, oats, and yellow peas. So I'm talking about these monster bags of seeds.
They were 50 pounds.
Is that what they were? 50 pounds each?
At least. I mean, I carried them into they were heavier than 25, I think.
Okay, they might have been. But anyway, it gave me these huge bags of seeds so that I could share it with, the community. And I really think this is cool because that's exactly what I'm going to do with it. Is anybody that has any use for it, specifically any beer brewers out there in the community that want some barley, right? But anyway, so that was super, super cool. I met this guy here. I don't know how well you can see this card. Yeah, probably not very good. Mm-mm. Anyway, it's DeVries Leather. And so they make all kinds of leather goods. And I actually have him working on me a Freeman belt right now because I like doing business with community. But anyway, he was super, super cool. See who else I got in here that was awesome. Okay, this guy right here. Can I see this one here? Okay, Sean Mills. Okay, and Sean Mills has Hack My Homestead YouTube channel. But he is a dealer for used solar panels. And he was talking about being able to get them down at the $75 mark and, like some decent deals that are coming out of a 5-year lease or whatever it is. And so that was really, really cool. Who's this one? Oh, yes. I'm back to One Step Closer real quick. I did not know this, but One Step Closer. So One Step Closer is the architect behind the UGS score for anybody who don't know. Okay, so the ungovernable score calculator that we use, which again, if anybody wants it, all you have to do is email me and I'll send it to you. But anyway, he's the architect behind it, also does business consulting. I did not know this, which is really, really cool. So if anybody wants to talk about running their business from probably the logistical side, I would imagine would be right up his alley. Analyzing numbers, those kind of things, make sure you reach out to him. And he's in here One Step Closer. What do you got there?
The huckleberries and gooseberries.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Why is there a rubber band through it?
Because that's how they were attached to the plants.
Okay, I'm taking it out. Okay, so then this guy I met too, which is pretty cool. So it's Food Plant. And anyway, he like-minded, watches the channel and grows plants for sale. So we picked up, all picked up?
Gooseberries. Black huckleberries and blueberries.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was super, super cool. It was funny then. So Saturday night, and for those of you guys who know, when you're at a place like this, I'm in a conversation the entire time. So the day gets over, we head back to the Airbnb, and so I filled up a large glass of chocolate milk, set it on my nightstand, crawled in bed, and woke up to a large glass of chocolate milk.
That doesn't surprise me.
I was so tired. Didn't get to drink any of it. But anyway, so that was super, super cool. So that was Saturday. Sunday, got up, listened to the speakers, and there was some really good ones. Got to talk with Paul Wheaton a little bit.
Oh, good.
Which was really, really cool. Back to Saturday real quick. Missed a super important thing. So Gypsy 19, who's in here today.
Yes.
Right. So Jeff, I've met Jeff before. I don't know if I'm supposed to say his name. Sorry. Anyway, the husband and wife behind Gypsy 19, I've met him before, but I had never met her. And so we actually got to visit a little bit, and they got to spend some time with Indiana Mike. And because Indiana Mike and MMR were down there, and so we got to hang out with some of them. And she sent B home with some interesting things, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I got this little bee honey holder, little dipper, and the little wings. And then look, this comes off for easy cleaning. Mm-hmm. Isn't that cute? So there's one little honey dipper, and then actually a second honey dipper, which oddly enough, I didn't have even one. So another little honey dipper. And then these adorable little measuring cups with little bees on them. And they just nestle together. Just sit right together. Look how cute those are. And some Metcalf Mills cornmeal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is super cool.
I know.
What are you going to make with it?
I don't know. What do you want me to make with it? Some hush puppies?
How about cornbread?
Some fried fish and some hush puppies?
I think cornbread would be great.
Oh,
I like cornbread.
I could do cornbread.
Yep. So anyway, so that was Saturday. So then Sunday, basically the same thing. I got up on stage a couple times to help talk about the festival. It was a good experience. Nicole Sauce did a good job. I think Yoda and them, and I think you could ask them for themselves, but I think they had a good trip. I think it was successful, the store that they put up that was there. But and again, met lots of couples came up to me to talk about, hey, what's Kansas really like? And, those kind of things. Cause you guys know that I'm a big proponent of building community.
Yep.
And so there's some people who are considering it, which I think is excellent because we just continue to grow and continue to grow and continue to grow. And we just this week down here, and I'm all over the map.
Yeah, added.
Yep, got a new farm purchased by someone from out of state who's moving in. Yep, who are in the chat right now, but I'm not going to say it unless they want me to. So, so that was super, super exciting. But anyway, so Sunday, let's keep on going. So Sunday, about normal, we're getting ready to pack up, and the young couple that I'd met before, so that's Towards Joy and Freedom, who are in here tonight. I seen them, and they were running around trying to help everybody load, and they had said to me, "We don't have to leave till tomorrow, so we're just going to help everybody load up and tear down tents." And I thought that was just so bad. That was so badass.
Yeah,
like that set with me. And so a little bit later, I'm talking to Louise Milliman, who I'm a super fan of, Freedom Firecracker. And so I was talking to her and Erica, who were at the Kangen Water booth a little bit, and we start talking about, let's all go out to dinner. And so all of us from our community, from Kansas was there, plus Louise Milliman, plus Erica, plus whom I'm getting Porterhouse and Teal was there as well. And so I walked up to this young couple and said, "Hey, why don't you come have dinner with us?" And if anybody knows SRF, there's nothing around it. So you had to drive 30 minutes to find a dinner. But we got to go and sit down and have dinner and talk homesteading. And it was just a great example of, brotherhood. And it was completely badass. And I made a new friend. And again, Towards Joy and Freedom, thank you guys for having dinner with me. It was a lot of fun. And so we left there, went back to our Airbnb and got up early in the morning and got on the road and drove 9.5 hours home, torturing Yoda and Garen and, the hacks for the homestead the best that we could.
Yeah.
And then the work all started kind of all over again. So it was a lot of fun. Let me get...
You forgot I gotta...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I forgot one.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Look at my new shirt.
Yeah, so you guys know Dog Creek Farm. So Jake from Dog Creek Farm, I love his story. This is a guy who went from a bunch of debt, bankrupt, going through a divorce, to living free, owning his land in 13 years. What an amazing accomplishment. And I did a video with him. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, go back and you'll see it.
Look at it, yeah.
Yep. She could show the hat real quick.
Yep.
I hope I didn't forget anything.
Dog Creek Farm. And the maple syrup.
Oh.
It was Davis Family maple syrup from New York, it said.
Yeah. Got a little thing of maple syrup that was pretty cool.
Yes. Too. And it's mainly gone because I put some in your oatmeal. I put some in my wheat berries.
Okay.
And
all right, I gotta catch up on the chat.
It's delicious.
Because I'm sure I'm way behind. Okay, so Johnny says, why aren't the transurrectionists going to jail? Because they don't want them to go to jail. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit tonight. Because I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Rain Country says, I'm the same way. I love good company, but I hate going out in public. Yep, that's
yes.
Me. Hey, there you go. Towards Joy and Freedom. My new Freedom friends, right? Said, heck yeah, tag, lock and loaded, no fear. Come what may. Yep, I am not living in fear. I'm not hiding. I'm not doing it. No way. Tag, have you seen the gun bills passed in North Carolina and Florida? I was just reading up. Don't know how many other states have new gun bills. We don't here, but I am not aware of the ones you're talking about. Okay, let's try to go slow here. Oh, did I just do it again?
No, right there.
I don't know where I'm at. If I skip something, I apologize. Thank you so much for the invite. We learned so much from everyone. It really touched our hearts. Yeah, it touched us too, Towards Joy and Freedom. Hey, Amber Martin, what's going on? Sorry, late getting on. Had to get my seeds in the dirt. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, huh? Chuck Peoples, how are you, my friend? Jake's good people. Yeah, Jake is great people. Let me see here. Hack said that was a great dinner. Yeah, it was a good dinner. Jules says Dane County, Wisconsin had a hazmat leak due to the storm damage. Really? Teapot, nope. Amber's ours. Yeah. So Amber Martin, who is in here, they have a homestead not very far from us and a great bread maker and great children. They have raised their kids really, really well. They come over here and work for us sometimes, which, by the way, don't you have a request for that? Weren't you going to get a couple of them kids over?
I kind of talked to you about it. I have not talked to them about it.
Well, she's on there. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd like to have them over?
Yeah.
She wants to hire the 2 old ones, and Amber. She's
the old ones.
Yeah, the old ones.
The adult ones.
Okay, what else you got? Anything else interesting? You got anything on your list? Because I got a whole bunch of stuff on my list.
I got my buffalo seed commitment contract agreement.
Okay.
Signed and in, and I got the seeds.
Okay. What are you growing different this year than you grew last year?
Different beans, different variety of peanuts, different variety of cowpea. I'm growing ground cherries. Does anybody have any experience with ground cherries? Have you eaten ground cherries? Mm-hmm. I guess that's in the tomato family, but they're supposed to be sweet.
Okay.
And they're in a little paper wrapper, like a tomatillo. Calendula, cilantro, tobacco. The tobacco. So I'm growing quite a bit of that since it's like a wormer. Cosmos, yarrow, woody betony. Bonaset, marshmallow, purple coneflower. And I did get the tobacco started, and I got the ground cherry started.
Okay.
Are you jumping?
No, I'm just sitting here. I'm chilling.
Jumping. So, anyway, I guess it's time to start your stuff. It's time to start.
Yep.
Time to get serious about planting some food. About eating.
Yep. Let me catch up again. Double the squash. No, thank you, Jonathan.
Yes, different varieties.
Yep. Greatest name on internet. Half Bubble Off Plum says putting cattle panels up this weekend for the black crim tomatoes and lemon cucumbers to climb on. I got some of that to do too.
Yep.
I was working on my project board. I showed it a little bit in the wood rack video, how I kind of manage it, but I've got some of that to put up too. One Step Closer says they just started some ground cherries this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever grown them before?
Yeah. And is there any tips on growing them? Because we've never grown them. Nurse Wang says, wishing I could have made SRF. All the people I have learned from and all of the people I am learning from were there. Just couldn't make the financial time and commitment. Going to drag my brother there soon. Yeah, they're going to do another one in October. But don't forget, everybody, Midwest Preparedness Project is at the end of April.
Do that one instead.
Yeah, I am so excited about going. And this is going to sound crazy, I don't have a role.
And it's free.
It's free. I get to sit in a lawn chair and drink chocolate milk and just enjoy myself. I'm super excited.
Chit chat.
Yeah. Johnny says they ran out of growing space this year. See, Towards Joy and Freedom says ground cherries are awesome. Cross between a pineapple and tomato. Make sure you let them fully ripen and fall to the ground. Otherwise, they are tart.
Okay, yeah.
Cool, super cool.
If they're one color, sweet. If they're red.
Yep. Heidi at Rain Country said I grew ground cherries in 2016. They were pretty tasty, and I got more than I knew what to do with. We mostly like them for snacking. Mm-hmm. Bird's Eye View says ground cherry is awesome. Yeah, that's another thing. I spent good time with Bird's Eye View at the SRF too, a little bit. So it was good to hang out again, but we hang out all the time, so that wasn't like weird. But Yoda, okay, skip that one. One Step Closer says they do allow free camping if that helps. Drummondson Live says the new gun law in North Carolina is we don't have to get the county sheriff to approve a permit to buy a handgun anymore. Wonderful.
Wow.
We need more of that. LJC says ground cherries we had growing up. We had lots of fun finding them and eating them. They spread around and must have been perennial because I don't remember Mom planting them.
They did say that they would grow, that they would seed themselves.
Yeah, so if you're going to do that, you should plant some that you just plan on letting go. Just let spread, Jules says, speaking of tobacco, I ordered several flavors of tobacco concentrate to make vape juice for bartering. Interesting. Hey, Spags, thank you for putting that up there. Hey, Spags, put a link in there too.
Yes. April 26th to the 30th.
B, we are trying the ground cherries for the first time this year. Yeah, us too. Okay.
Choche
Choche, because apparently I was informed I have been saying it wrong the entire time.
Choche.
Choche says ground cherries are great, but you will eat them right off the plant and they will never get to the kitchen. I'm more worried about the chickens getting them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We will plant enough for everybody.
I bet they'd be good soaked in vodka for medicinal purposes. Yeah, B just made vanilla that way.
Vanilla.
Yep. She just made her own vanilla.
It's not
extract.
ready. It's steeping.
Yeah, Florida Mama Bear says Florida is going permitless as well. Yeah, Kansas is permitless. We have constitutional carry here, so you don't have to have a permit. Although I keep mine, and I keep mine up because I want that extra level of coverage to say I went out of my way. Let me see. Rain Country says there are annuals like tomatoes, but they do self-seed easily. Okay, cool. Ground cherry tinctures. Yep. Let me see here. You won't believe our lineup this year. Yeah, there's a lot of really good people speaking. I'm really looking forward to seeing Callie speak again. She had a story that just blew me away when I was in Georgia, which is where I met her. But really, all of them. It's going to be a good time. Like I said, I'm most excited because I'm not speaking.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I get to just chill the whole time. So I'm super, super, super excited about that. You want to turn that light on back on?
I do.
Please.
I really, really, really do.
Please.
Because you can't see your notes.
Yeah, I just can't see my notes, and there's just so much going on. Ooh. Well, if you guys weren't awake before, you're awake now, right? Okay. Not speaking this time, bro. I won't let you off the hook that much again. No, bud. Thank you. It's nice. It's super nice. I really just get to chill and network and talk to people, and so it'll be really, really cool. Grumpy Acre says, I'm planting the ground cherries I got from David the Good. These should be amazing. Yeah, right on. Gypsy said, our closing is on the 28th, and we'll be able to go to the Midwest Preparedness. Okay, so because they just admitted it, now I can say it. So Gypsy 19 purchased land down here in Kansas, probably 8 miles from me. Is that about right? 8 or 9 miles from me down here. And so they're going to be closing on it pretty quick. I just wasn't going to say the name unless they volunteered that information.
Perry Lake.
Yep. Miley Mason says only 34 thumbs up and 86 in here.
Come on, people, thumbs up.
Yeah, it's all good. You still have to pass a background check to purchase a gun. Location is on. Okay, got it. Tag, when cigarettes run out after the shit hits the fan, people are going to want something, and I'm not paying to stock regular cigarettes. Yeah. I actually think tobacco is a great barter item. So would be alcohol. But it's one of those weird things. Maybe not tobacco so much, but alcohol and like ammunition. You barter it, and then what comes back? Like what I wouldn't. Which is why I've always been kind of opposed to bartering ammo.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm curious what you guys think about the Trump indictment.
I think it's like, hey, look at this, 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 look at this. And they're like doing something over here.
Yeah. So do you know what they're doing over there? Because I do.
Oh, funding something. Oh, the digital dollar. They're switching to the digital dollar.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely fascinating that as soon as the BRICS nations, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with BRICS, and I know a lot of you will be familiar with the BRICS nations, but let me just kind of cover it real quick. Yeah, Lori Hyman, you're exactly right. Shiny object. But
what?
So the BRICS nation is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Make them up. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but while this indictment was going on, just this last week, the BRICS nation crossed the G7 for the greatest GDP. This is a big thing. Okay. So the G7 is Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and the United States. They're referred to as the G7. So basically NATO, right? There's a few other smaller NATO countries in there, but mainly the NATO countries. The BRICS countries now have a larger GDP than those NATO countries. Okay, this is significant. Okay, and I'll explain why kind of as we go. Yep, one step closer. I'm going to talk about that actually. Matt, totally going to talk about that. And so China, just some stuff that's been going on. So China and Brazil made a deal recently to trade their goods away from the dollar. So now they're now trading in the yuan, right? China's come out and said that their goal is to replace the dollar as the reserve currency. And these BRICS nations, okay, are making this big push, but it's more. And I've dug into the headlines a little bit. Even the G7, one of the members I mentioned was France. And this is what One Step Closer was talking about, how France just bought natural gas in the yuan. So even one of the G7 members is kind of turning sides a little bit and doing business, with them. Russia announces that they will now use the yuan exclusively in Asia, Africa, and South America. Okay, so that's pretty much everywhere but Europe and the United States. Okay, so this is going to be a big deal. Yep. Brazil, while the indictment was going on, was lobbying Argentina to join the BRICS nation, to which then Argentina filled out the application to join the BRICS nations. Egypt joins the BRICS Bank. So the BRICS, you know how we have the Federal Reserve? So they have what's called the New Development Bank. Okay, so it's basically a World Bank, just like what we have. So there is a massive push right now to attack the dollar, to decrease the dollar, and ultimately to replace the United States dollar as the reserve currency. And guys, this is the biggest thing. This is bigger than 9/11. Because what happens if they're successful impacts all of us to a level far beyond what 9/11 did. And so I don't know if you guys have studied Venezuela when they went through their collapse, but basically we're going to go through this super inflation, right? Will be the first thing that'll happen, because if another reserve currency was named, or even if the majority or a good percentage of the countries started dealing in, let's say, the yuan, just for an example, the BRICS nation numbers, what would happen is all of these countries would start dumping the dollars, right? All the bonds, all the treasuries, all of the things that these other countries have. And so we would get flooded with dollars, okay, back into our country, which would just send inflation through the roof. And so I'll tell you guys this, and I'm not giving any financial advice here. Okay. I'm just telling you what I do and what I'm going to do. I'm going to go buy assets. I'm going to, if there's a construction project you've been working on, lumber's cheap right now, and it's not going to be for very long. I would absolutely go after those kind of things, because again, it's only going to get, it's only going to get worse. That the BRICS nations right now control 31.5% of the global GDP, which is greater than the G7. So all of this Trump stuff that's going on, in my opinion, the main reason it's going on is because it's hiding people running from the dollar. Right? And they're hiding what's going on here.
Big.
They need something big, because remember, the dollar is only backed by your belief it will buy something. Remember, they took us off the gold standard, Richard Nixon a long time ago, to protect us from the speculators. Remember that? And then, recently they came out and said that they're going to protect the digital dollar from the banks, making the banks the bad guys. So anyway, I'm just give you guys words of caution. I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy, and you guys know this on the channel. I don't, I'm going to go enjoy my life and do these things, but I'm going to tell you guys, in my opinion, what's best for my household is I'm going to go get out of dollars. And I've been doing it for a while, but I think we need to step up those efforts and make sure that we have the things that we need, to drive on. Because again, all I see coming out of this is huge inflation.
Is not, yeah.
Yeah. Johnny says people are going to freak out when those dollars come home, Bruce. Yes, they are, Johnny. They're going to freak out like they've never seen before. And you guys really should go and read some of the stuff that happened in Venezuela as they went through inflation, how the farmers fared.
How long ago are you talking about?
So in the 2000s. Okay, so not very long ago. Go through what happened. And again, what I'd be looking for is, how did the rural people fare? Right? If you're living rural, how did the cities, what were the items that were hard to get? Because they would go and I don't know if you guys know this, but so in Venezuela, they had their minimum wage, and inflation got so bad that they jumped it like 200% and then like 600% again.
Yes.
But even that wasn't buying it, because they would go to buy a loaf of bread and it would be $5, and then the next day it would be $7, and then the next day it would be $9. And so
you can't catch it.
You can't catch it. And so what people were doing was they were living well if they had someone from the outside. So like someone who lived in America who could send them money, right? The dollar, they could do pretty well. if they had, something they could barter or trade, but they were selling clothing, shoes, everything they had just so they could feed their kids. And I think this is a super big deal. Anyway, I don't even know where I'm at. Most aren't even paying attention enough to know what dollars coming home means, sadly. Yeah, I totally agree. Let me see here. Oh, big kid, I don't want to miss you. Sorry, bud. They don't care about anything but having him indicted when it's time to run. As long as he's tied up, he can't be on the ticket, to the best of my knowledge. I think that's the end goal, is keeping him out. What I think is fascinating about this, I think they're just smoke and mirrors to what's going on behind the scenes. But I think what's interesting about this is, so what they indicted him for was Stormy Daniels. So he paid her, they're saying he paid her. I don't know that he did, but that he paid her hush money because he had an affair with her prior to being in office in 2016. And yet Bill Clinton had sex with Monica Lewinsky in the White House, right? That's just total double standards. And I don't know whether he did it or he didn't do it. I don't really care. But I do find that super fascinating. Let me see here. And sooner than we thought we had. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, I would get out of dollars today. That's what I'm going to do. After these tornadoes, lumber is going to go up in this area. Yep. Any guesses as to when the lumber prices will go up in Kansas, Tag? I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit slow reacting, I think, sometimes. I think that it depends on what China and Russia and the BRICS nations do, right? Because if they come out tomorrow, I mean, China said today that its goal was to replace the dollar as the reserve currency. And so it depends on how successful they are. What I would be watching for is companies jumping ship, like what France did today, right? What Argentina did today. Because you get enough of them backing that, it's all game on. But here's the thing. I mean, I think that, you guys walked out on my farm right now and you walked out there. There are 2 pallets, full crates of 2x6x8. There's one of 2x4x10, right? There's plywood all under tarps, all of those things. Because I just think, man, it's going to get to be, super hard to get. But LJC, I don't know when the date is. It depends on how this all plays out. But the dollar is losing value. If you look back from about September, I hope I'll quote this right. So September the 22nd of this last year to now, the dollar's fallen in comparison to the euro 10%. So if you think about it, it's 1/10, right? I mean, so now you got 90 cents. Jules says, I was supposed to go to my local guy a couple bags of constitutional silver until all the storms hit. Yeah, that's another place you can put them. Although I think they can regulate your way where you can't get at those either. I like those hard assets I can, that I can deal with here, but nothing wrong with some gold and silver. Did Russia said they would trade in the yuan too? They did. Actually, Russia announces today that they will now, and I'm quoting this out of the news article, Russia announces today, Amber, that they will now use the yuan in Asia, Africa, and South America. So pretty much everywhere except Europe and the United States. And that was, again, that was today. So pretty interesting. More tornadoes happening tonight will send prices sky high again. Yeah. I think if you're going to order lumber, order it. There's too much going on that could affect it. Hippocrates says may need to stock up on bandsaw blades. Yeah. I like that kind of stuff. Okay, let me see. Just closed a deal on that telehandler. Dump the dollar, right? Tag tangible assets. I think tangible. Johnny says it's very tool heavy. Yeah, I don't mind that though a bit. I'm going to try to do this without blowing by. And nope, I did not. Ginbotho, hey, how are you? Grand cherries are the best. They taste, and because they reseed, so I have only planted them once.
Oh,
I think you should grow a whole row and just let them go. Let them seed a couple times and see if we can get a big field of them,
Because he really wants to eat a lot of
I love
them.
Cherries. I love cherries.
Okay, so you heard what they taste like, right?
They said they were
cross
sweet.
Between what's the
gotta
pineapple and tomato.
They got to be better than squash.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. He wants to eat his weight in ground cherries.
Yeah.
He wants ground cherries jelly.
Yeah, Jules says I don't have any room to stock up all the building materials I need. My offsite is stuffed, and I don't want to pay for another one. Yeah, well, guys, but buying building materials isn't for everybody. I was more referring to the people who are, building or whatever. Building. Yeah, if you can't buy assets like that, I think gold and silver is as good as it's going to get. Mm-hmm. Yep. Vodkas, and Melody says vodka's on sale at Sam's Club right now. And you go through a fair amount of it when you make all your potions. Oh, I didn't tell you when I was at SRF, I made a joke about your.
My potions?
Yeah.
Why?
I was on stage and it was just totally a joke. But when I was on stage, I told them that, we're talking about my solar system, about how it powers your processing kitchen, where you get to make all your potions. And then I asked them, when did they remove the word snake and insert essential? She don't think that's funny.
Did they think it was funny?
Yeah, I got a lot of laughs.
I don't
actually
think it's all that funny.
It
does work.
Oh,
You
did I blow it? There it is.
Right there.
The ITM Trading Channel has good videos and podcasts on Venezuela and other countries, LJC says. She also interviews people who have lived through hyperinflation. The John Kane, Carter, and Arpad interviews rock. Huh. Guys, I'm telling you.
Heard of them?
No, I haven't, but write them down. But I'm telling you guys, research on what happened in Venezuela. Because if they replace the standard, the reserve standard, I'm telling you, it's on. It is absolutely on. Heidi has good wine videos. My grapes are 3 years old this year. I don't know if we will get any. Heidi has a lot of good videos on a lot of good things. Let me see here. Rain Country. So Heidi says, I've never tried using almonds in winemaking, but I have made mead and wine from many different fruit juices, including home-pressed apple juice from our own apples and rhubarb as well. Nurse Wang says, what's your thoughts on Bitcoin? I am kind of getting to a point now where I kind of think it's a scam. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Like, I know a lot of people love Bitcoin, and if you do, guys, go for it. I'm not an expert in this field at all. But it sure seems to me if I was going to get people ready for the digital dollar, that's how I would do it. I'd build a bunch of, cryptocurrencies and let them trade around, let them get popular, right? And then I dump the digital dollar on everybody. The other thing I can tell you, Nurse Wang, with 100% certainty is that the federal government is never going to give up the power to the purse. It's not going to happen. If Bitcoin or any of the rest of them threaten that, they will shut it down. Just that simple. So I am not buying cryptocurrencies. Dana Green says, wow, we lost power. I've missed a bunch. No internet. We broke down and fired the generator up. Hello.
There you go.
Right. It's a party.
Isn't it nice to be able just to take care of your own needs?
Yep. Johnny says, order cement, stone, and sand for your project. It's a lot cheaper to mix your own than buying concrete. Yes, it is. Okay, let me see here.
And you're off.
No.
Concrete. Buying concrete.
I got it right there. Tough guy?
Yeah.
I made a ground cherry apple butter, and that turned out pretty good, and tried making a salsa. It was okay. Would have been better for a sweet salsa like mango and pineapple.
Yeah. So ground cherry apple butter.
She goes on to say, I do recall if I showed making the apple wine, but it is the same way I make grape wine as shown in my winemaking series. I have a separate video on mead. Oh, cool. And another on rhubarb. And I love rhubarb. I've never had rhubarb wine, Heidi, but I bet it's really, really good.
Rhubarb margarita wine.
Yep. Let me see here. Towards Joy and Freedom. Yes, says, hey, Rain Country, we're neighbors to the south of you in Oregon. Yeah, and Towards Joy and Freedom, I talked to you guys about this when we were in Tennessee. But, look up Rain Country. Look up that channel. Heidi and Patrick do some amazing stuff up there. They're complete badasses.
Okay, congratulations.
What?
Heidi.
On the grandchild?
On their anniversary.
Oh.
Like 33 years or 35 years or something.
Yep.
You should, if you haven't seen it, you should go look at their picture.
Okay.
From 30 years ago. I don't know where I saw it.
You saw it probably on their channel? A post maybe?
I don't know. I don't even know if it was today I saw it.
Yeah. So how many years, I want to ask Patrick something. So how many years into your marriage did you start referring to Heidi as the blister? When did that come along?
It was probably just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Blot blew by. If I missed something, sorry, guys.
Yeah, 33 years.
Yep. 33 years. How cool.
They were 24 and 25 when they got married.
Hi, everyone. Amy B says, and Amy B has great questions, by the way. I love it. Hi, everyone. How do you shut down a decentralized currency? That's the point of Bitcoin, is that it's the most ungovernable money there is. No, it's not. As long as they leave it decentralized and as long as they don't mess with it. But, I mean, they can control it 100%. And one button, they can shut it off. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, is it decentralized?
It's digital.
I mean, yeah, because it's digital. If it was truly like, we created our own coin amongst the community and it was traded by hand and it was really silver, maybe. But and I'm not being disrespectful, Amy B. I don't think it's decentralized at all. I think they allow it to be, and I think that either A, it's part of it, or B, it hasn't gotten big enough to threaten them yet. But I'm telling you, they are not going to give up the power of the purse. Zero chance. Heidi says my rhubarb margarita wine is one of the most popular that I make. Yeah, I've never had rhubarb wine, but I would love to try it. Amy B said that I made dandelion this summer, and it's quite sweet.
Dandelion wine.
Yep.
I bet that would be good.
Joel says Chicago is under a destructive storm warning. I just hear vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Yeah.
Destructive storm warning.
Yep. 33 years. We were 24 and 25 when we got married. Oh, how cool. Happy anniversary to you guys. Yep. And it doesn't surprise me that you guys have been married 33 years. You guys got great attitudes, and I know you love each other, and I can tell by all the harassment you do. Grumpy says, we may have to have you and Mr. Rain come for a visit and show us. Yeah, we would all love that.
Heck yeah.
Spag says the largest holder of Bitcoin is the U.S. government. Mr. Rain says, I'm fairly early on, but she didn't have a sense of humor back then, but she got used to it after a while. Well, how long did it take her to get used to it? Because you've inspired me, Mr. Rain. You've absolutely inspired me. You know, the blister, I love the name. I started calling B the callus. She don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
You don't like it, do you?
No. But it's don't rub me the wrong way.
I think the callus is funny. I don't think she thinks it's funny. Amy B says that would be the only way, an EMP, etc. I'm curious what that statement was.
Whatever Johnny said. Oh, because he said turn the power off? ? Because she said, how do you turn off a decentralized?
Yeah, you just hit a button and you turn it off. Because what good is it? I mean, if they shut the internet down, or they just say Bitcoin no longer can use the internet, you have this money. It's locked up somewhere. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Guberman is already trying to outlaw it, make derivatives out of it. And I honestly believe that crypto was the training wheels so people could get hooked on the CBDC. I kind of agree with that. Hippocrates just ordered 30 blades for his woodland mill. Yeah, I think I've only got like 7 or 8. Yep, you had me at rhubarb margarita wine. Well, the tornado count is down from 8 to 18. Hopefully things are winding down. I hope so. Tag just EMP'd the dump truck. Oh, cool. Super cool. Incoming producing assets have always been good investments. Yep. Grumpy Acre says after 32 years, Grumpy says that we have been happily married for 17. He thinks he's funny. So Grumpy, here's the thing. I hope Grumpy's listening. So Heidi is the blister. B is the callus. What's Yoda?
Happily married.
The goiter? What else is there? A splinter?
I was thinking happily married for 32 years.
Yeah, but the question is, was it the first 17 or the last 17? Y'all need more blades, a way to sharpen and set them too. Yeah, I do need to get some more blades. I don't have anywhere near enough.
No, I give 7.
Yeah. Planter's wart. Oh, Johnny, that's great. That's absolutely great. I don't think that'll go over well, but I think we should try it anyway. Search Fed now, says Melody. Yep. Grumpy should wear matching dresses for his 33rd anniversary picture. He should. One step closer. We've been married 20 years, but it feels like a lot longer than that. Florida Mama Bear says, aren't you the Boyle tag? Yeah, it could be. Oh, that's funny. The gnome. Oh, that's even better.
Oh, she's the gnome.
Oh, she's the gnome. Yoda, ask him which years. Yeah, that's what I was asking, is which years, you know? That's funny.
17 years.
Yep. All right, what else on your list? Next to you.
So I've got merch and seeds going out on Monday. And I did, so I got Cul-de-sac's card. Got your card, Cul-de-sac. Get your sweatshirt on the way. I thought you wanted me to just take it to the camp out, but I will send it to you. Because I got your check.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so I've got merchandise going out. I actually have to go through everything that you brought back and get a list of everything and then put an order in. So if anybody wants anything specific, let me know.
When you're having the new Hold the Line B one's done, right?
She is working on it. Okay. She said she's working on it. Also, I've got freestanding tank tops.
Oh, cool.
They're racerback tank tops, and they're fun colors too, not just all like so. Normally, we pick one color for the design. So the freestanding sweatshirts were ash. The Hold the Line were the sports blue. Everything had its own color, but the tank tops are all a variety of color. You pick your size, pick your color. Oh, so I got some pictures taken too. Put them on the. I have them for you to put on the website. We have a new website.
Yep, it's not all that new anymore, but.
And you're going to put it on. You're going to. I got the pictures for the website of the merchandise.
Johnny says, "What are Razorback tank tops?" I'm a guy. I have no idea.
Where they like instead of having two straps that come down like a brassiere strap, it comes like to a Y and then down. Racer back, for when you're racing around.
Cul-de-sac, I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. I thought it's what you wanted me to do. It doesn't matter. Either way is fine.
Oh yeah,
Cul-de-sac, it doesn't matter. Rickster wants to join the Swarm swim trunks.
Swim trunks.
He said Speedos. He can't say, I don't want to know.
He can't say.
I am Molly Russellsworth. I don't even know what that is. Yeah. Skanes girl. No, it's comment. G said he can say he needs preparation for Angela. G says he can say he needs preparation, Angela. I don't get it. Apparently I'm slow tonight. Okay, what else you want to talk about? Keep going.
Oh, sorry. I was still looking at sorry. Seeds and merchandise. Working on taxes. New community member. Going through the garden stuff.
Yeah, so tell us what you got planned and what's going on there.
Look at my map. Who else has a paper map that they take to the garden? Oh, and look, more swells. Who else has a paper map that they take to the garden to write down stuff because you don't remember where you?
I'm gonna go potty. I'll be right
back.
You got it. You got to be.
I don't know how long you're gonna be.
47 minutes.
No, we're done. Let's wrap it up. Good night, folks. Okay, so who all has a map that they take to the garden so that they remember where they planted stuff? Tag is expanding my swells, and so I'm trying to do the food forest, and right now I have an entire row of elderberries, and then in there are planted like gooseberries and coneflower. But he doesn't want me to do that. He wants it because if something happens to that row, he wants stuff kind of spread all over through the food forest. So if I don't write it down, I don't remember where I planted it. And then everything kind of looks the same to me. So I don't know where we were. I guess you guys are kind of talking to yourselves, so. Oh, gosh. I have to move over here to get the little cursor. So Darren says he draws it out on graph paper. Yeah, I think that would work a whole lot better because then you can kind of make it to scale and then you don't have to like try to squeeze things in when, don't have enough room. But I kind of think that doing it on the computer might be easier too, because then I don't know if you can shift things over. If there's a program, maybe there's an app for that. I don't know. But it would be easier to, I think that there has to be an easier way. Because the paper method, it gets wet and it gets dirty, and then, well, you lose it sometimes. If it were on the phone, it would be kind of cool. Hey, there's a couple of apps too that have, when you take a picture of the item, you can save it to your garden so that you can bring it up later. But then, of course, it doesn't tell you where it's at in the garden. It just says that you have it somewhere on property. Okay, so cul-de-sac, talking to Skane's girl, half bubble off plum, from to the notebook. Dwarf moringa is actually sprouting. Oh, hey, I'm looking for moringa seeds if anybody has any. I am down to 2 trees, and we pretty much chopped them up last year for a trade. Is actually sprouting. Do you have rain country? Do you have those in your house? Or do you have them? Where do you have them? Outside your moringas? Here's a cordygovive. Oh, it's gone. This thing moves so fast. Skane's girls talking to cul-de-sac. Big kid, I need a garden map. Yeah, so what are options? Who uses what? Late ground cherry question.
All right, I'm back.
If they are in husks, are they ripe when the husks are? Oh, wait. So I was told that the ground cherries, they fall off the plant when they're ripe, but you have to pick them up very fast, because if you leave them there for several days, then they dehydrate really fast, is what I was told, but I've never planted them. So ground cherries. I was asking about, I was trying to reach the mouse, but I was trying to ask people what they do for like garden maps. Like, Hack says he uses graph paper instead of, like this. This looks kind of
Janky.
Yeah, actually.
Hey, Chris White, hello.
It looks really janky.
To pick a selection of 3 to 5 plants in a group and repeat that group planting in multiple areas.
Okay. 3 to 5 plants in a group. So putting 3 to 5 plants in a group all over the food forest instead of all of the elderberries in this row.
Isn't that what
yeah, so that's what I was telling them.
Isn't that what I told you?
You had said that I should kind of put things around instead of just...
Yes. Hey, Rosie, how are you? Rosie is a young person that we met in Tennessee and got some good goodies out of her. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Hippocrates says, I thought that's what making YouTube videos were for. What did I plant here?
Oh, so you can go back and watch your video to remember what. Oh. When you have so much, though, planted in that one area, it's pretty hard to... Well, most people probably can pick out their stuff with like, hey, I planted this. But when you plant it from seed, sometimes it's hard to...
Rain says the starts are in the house right now.
She has some moringas that are budding out.
Yeah. How are your moringas?
I only have the 2, and they are not really doing... They're still dormant right now. Okay. So I asked if anybody had any seeds.
Mrs. Hack says, stay old school, B. Power can go out, and then nothing changes for you.
And then you don't know where it's at.
Cul-de-sac says, garden me too. And in the deep, dark winter, when I am cold and sad, I can still visit my garden. Has anyone trellised wild blackberries? Have you?
Not the wild ones. I mean, they kind of... I have an entire clump of the... Oh, they're not black. But yeah, there was a lot that kind of went past.
Yeah, it's okay. Our moringa seeds sprouted as well, said prep for the eternal homestead. Last we were able to harvest a good bit and turn into powder. Cool.
Nice.
Scanes Girl says she has not started her moringa seeds yet. She's so behind. Yeah, I've kind of starting to feel behind too. Autumn Dawn Endeavors, hello from Holiday, Tennessee. B, what are you the most excited to grow this year?
Right now I'm most excited about the microgreens because I'm actually getting some.
Mhm.
I'm actually able to eat them right now. So
Yeah, 'cause you got a bunch of
and
them
then
going.
I'm excited to grow the Hackeri turnips.
Yeah, because those things are super good.
Yes, and medicinals too, because I would like to do some more witchcraft.
Snake oil. Let me see. Mr. Rain says, sharp enough you can shave with it. Why? I've been known to circumcise a gnat. You're not a gnat, are you? Bug? Wait a minute. Bug? Gnat? Is there a little similarity? Rain Country says yes. Heidi at Rain Country says yes. What's that?
Ground cherries.
Ground? Okay.
Are ripe when they fall off the plant. That is why they are called ground cherries.
Okay.
I thought it was because they grew on the ground. I thought it was because you're not supposed to trellis them. So I didn't know that. Thank you, Rain Country.
Yep. Towards Joy and Freedom is talking to Autumn Dawn Endeavors and says they hope they fared okay. Autumn Dawn, is everything okay with you guys? Oh, I just blew right by.
Probably just because they were at the festival, right? At your
Eagle Lover said she's bringing you some moringa. I'm assuming that's what that is.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Okay. I do have moringa seeds, B, but I set them aside a month ago, and now I don't remember where I put them. Yeah, Florida Mama Bear says diversity in the food force. Page protectors would be a good idea. My maps are forever getting wet when I need to take them out and make changes.
Well, see, like this is my map though. I guess I could make it into 4 different and put them in a book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grumpy says they've got some moringa seeds coming. Rickster says to send B some squash seeds. Yes, please. Please, please,
send
please.
me
please.
some squash seeds?
Yeah, she harvested a lot this last year.
To send me some?
Yeah. We're a natural forest. Nothing grows in a straight line. Yep, I agree with that. I tell B that all the time. I've been trying to encourage her to plant in the woods, to just put stuff out there, just because she has so much wood. She's got 24 acres.
I did with the witch
hazel. You know, take them out to the garden, not just out of the protector. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me see. Wild blackberry trellises themselves around here. Yeah, we get lots of them too. We have a whole field, a whole bunch from out in the woods.
Yeah, they grow in big clumps too, so it's like a big round area of them, kind of like a little forest on their own.
Let me see. Autumn Dawn, I believe he has the night planned. I will tell him to put you on for night. Oh, night. I don't know. I have seeds for the
Hackeri
turnips, but haven't planted them. Good to know they taste good. They're amazing. Tabletop Farms over Missouri is where we got them from before, and they're kind of who turned us on to them. What a great family. What a great story.
I guess it's time to put them in the ground now too. Like outside.
Yep. Cul-de-sac says, I love it when I am overzealous filling the ground cherries to see how close they are and they fall off into my hands. It's magic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Movie quotes from Uncle Buck tags. Heidi and I are having Uncle Buck memories.
Yeah. Do you remember Uncle Buck?
I do. Yeah. And the Hackeri, I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
They are super delicious.
And they stay in your fridge for like a month.
Yeah. Spag says, I want to trade for patty pan seeds. I tried to reclaim some from the squash that Hitch gave me last year, but none of them came up.
Oh, Hitch did have patty pans.
Mm-hmm. I make a map in my garden journal once a year. I break it up into sections. Yeah, wild blackberry usually grows along the side of the road tracks and ditches. Yeah, we've got them all over. We've got wild gooseberries, wild blackberries, wild raspberries, grapes, wild grapes, elderberries. What's the big trees?
The big trees?
Big trees with berries all over them.
Oh, mulberry.
Mulberries. We got a couple mulberry trees. They're just natural.
They're purple mulberries, not white mulberries.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be cool. Half Bubble Off Plum says, I've got a patch of wild blackberries about 40 foot long. Thought about troubling them to get to them easier. Yeah.
You can also just dig up the littler ones and move them into a different area.
And get them growing and get them all tied up.
Yeah. Like along fence line, along big trees, along things that they can grow up.
Yeah. Okay, what else you got? Where you at?
Oh, sorry.
You're right. It's my job to keep you on track. Yeah. I was telling everybody on the Zoom last night.
Yeah, we did the Zoom last night.
Yeah. By the way, guys, those of you guys go to the Zoom. If those of you guys who aren't on it, 7:00, the Zoom on freesteading is just super cool. There's a whole bunch of homesteaders in there, and we just get chit-chatting about whatever. And, once in a while, there's more than one, chat rooms going on. So you've got 8 people in one and 13 people in the other or whatever.
And we're still learning.
And yeah, it's just a great place to learn and a great place to ask questions. Go to freesteading on Thursday, 7 p.m. Click the link and join the Zoom. It's really cool.
We couldn't figure out how to get out of the breakout room and back to the.
Well, it's because we didn't read the screen. It says leave room.
Leave room, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah. So what? Choche
says still too cold. Some days to work on the garden, but when I do get surprised by volunteers already coming up. Yeah, we got stuff coming up everywhere.
I know. I'm like, thank you. I love you.
Next of those, send me your address. Okay, got it. Oren says, how does the Zoom work? So basically at 7:00 on freesteading, if you just go to the activity feed, there's a big picture of the Zoom, the freesteading Zoom meeting, and there's a link. Just click it, and that's it. And then we just chit chat back and forth. And some people are there right at 7 and then leave at 9 or whatever. And some people stay, and some
people show up at 9 and leave at 10.
Yeah. Richter said the Zoom lasted 4 hours and 45 minutes last night. Yeah. Not for me. Not for me. I was getting tired. But you guys,
that's almost midnight.
Yeah. Yeah. 7 Central. Oh, thank you, Gypsy. Gypsy 19 says it starts at 7 Central on freesteading. And guys, come in. Let's chit chat. It's so much fun, And
if you can't be there till 9, then show up at 9.
Yeah. Hippocrates says tons of videos on YouTube about how Zoom works as well. But guys, it's super easy. It's literally click the link, and it opens up and it connects to audio, and then you're talking, and then from there, we can do whatever we need to do. But does purple asparagus taste the same as green?
I've not had purple asparagus.
I hope it tastes better than green, because I don't like the green stuff.
Oh, you don't?
No.
You eat it? You've never complained about eating broccoli or about eating asparagus.
Well, there's a lot of things I don't complain about eating.
Huh.
It's called love.
Well, thank you. Thank you for eating your vegetables without complaining.
Yep.
Now if you could just do it with the squash.
And Hippocrates says, just in case anyone is wondering, we do not record the Zooms. Yeah, unless a calf is being born. Yeah. So Gypsy 19 had a baby calf born while we were on the Zoom call. And so they filmed that calf being born. And it was an amazing experience to talk to all these other homesteaders and preppers about whatever was going on in life at the same time where this baby calf was being born. And now Freedom, her name, is, running all over the place. And so it was just super, super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, LJC says it's nice to have a conversation and see each other. I agree. And it's nice to put a face to a name. I also agree.
And it's nice to when we all finally go, and that's who you are.
Yep. Her name is HGF Freesteading Lady is the cow's actual name.
HGF.
Yeah. And she was born on freesteading. So it's pretty cool. We were kind of joking that night about how homesteading had its first child.
That's his Grace Farm.
Yep. So pretty cool. Let me see. Gypsy 19 accept Boogananger's face, laugh out loud. Yeah. You know what the funny thing is about that, Terminator, is that we can barely see you.
It's just black, and then you have like a little reflection where your glasses are.
Yeah.
And then if you move the reflection, your glasses reflection move with you.
Yeah. Indiana Mike says the Zoom is great. Yeah, I love it. You complain about squash tag? Oh, yes, I complain a lot. Melody Hatfield says, going to be at work at 4:30 a.m. night all. Melody, good night to you.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending an hour and 44 minutes with us tonight.
Yes.
What were you talking about? Anything else in your list?
Sweet dreams. No.
Pretty much through it all?
Pretty much.
Why don't you talk about, were just gifted a whole bunch of mulch. Why don't you talk about that?
I don't know where it came from. I was gifted a whole bunch of mulch.
So the tree companies, they're replacing a bunch of poles around this area of northeast Kansas.
Telephone poles.
Yeah, telephone poles.
No.
Yes.
Electrical poles. What's the difference? Telephone poles.
Electrical poles, whatever.
Telephone lines.
Yeah. And so they're doing that, but they're also trimming a bunch of trees and all of that stuff. My property is very easy to get in and out of. And so the truck drivers like to come in and out. And so we've gotten electrical poles. We've gotten, 6 or 7 big loads of mulch. And dirt. We've gotten some backfill dirt that I'll put into the dam. And it's nice to be sitting here working on my computer and see a dump truck come drive down my driveway, and they know where to go, and they just dump these huge loads of mulch. Mm-hmm. And just completely badass. And then we'll be able to use those in the food forest this year. Last year we went through a whole bunch, but it was pretty cool to get some of it.
Yeah. Well, that we chipped.
Yeah.
We chipped this stuff from last year.
No, my dad brought a whole bunch. Remember?
Oh, I don't. Did we use that?
Yeah, we used that. All of it. Yeah. See, Violin Tag likes to give me an excuse to use this emoji. Yeah. Yeah, apparently I do, because you use it all the time.
That's because you're all the time complaining.
About what?
About anything.
I'm lucky.
That's what she's saying. Stop.
Telephone poles carry communications only. Electrical poles carry power and sometimes communication. Yeah. So, these would be electrical poles. But Haxton Homestead says, save some poles for me. Yeah, I got a big old stack of them, and we're going to use them all over the community. I'm sure people will use them. I've got use for a few, but I'm sure they will get used up, right? Yeah. By somebody in the community.
Yeah.
We'll use them.
This is a dumping grounds.
Yeah. I'm going to make an exception to a carnivore for some cured squash. Thanks, Spag. No cost on the seeds. Just grow the heck out of them. Oh, how cool is that? Thank you, Amy.
Grow the heck out of them.
Yeah. Rickster, you should have heard the conversation about my freeze dryer butternut soup. So funny in hindsight. I used banana butternut squash.
I used banana butternut squash.
Miley wants to know, where did the telephone pole get its name? Probably from the first poles they would have put up a long, long time ago would have been the telegraph, right? Yeah, the telegraph operators. So pole. I don't know. Miley, where did the telephone pole get its name? I don't have any idea. Yeah, I have another interesting thing to talk to you guys about that I find interesting. So I have been asked if I would be interested in serving as, and you don't even know this yet. You ready? Are you excited?
I don't know.
Show me your excited smile.
Well, let's hear it.
So I've been asked if I'd be interested in serving as a reserve sheriff's deputy. Now, normally I would just not be interested in anything like this at all, not even in the least. But let me back up. So I would not be interested because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want, someone to be able to say, hey, you got to go here, or call at 3:00 in the morning, right? Or any of those kinds. I don't want to do all that. But there's another side to this, which is I'm now in a county where we've made so much ground, right, guys? We've got county commissioners and school board members, and we have all of these really cool things going on in our community that if I could get a few of our community members as deputy sheriff's members, then I think it would help us build our community better. 2, we would be seen in the community more and more as a solution instead of a problem or the weird guy that lives on the castle at the hill, right? And so I think there's just some really strong benefits that would come from it, but there's also some other stuff that I'm not am not a big fan of. So anyway, I'm just considering it. So I just love to hear your guys' thoughts, kind of on what you think. Rickster says do it.
Yeah, don't they get like shot at?
Well, yeah, but that part don't bother me. I'm more worried about the politics of it. I'm more worried about
that too.
And babe, here's the thing. A deputy sheriff isn't kicking in a door. That's not how that works. What they're doing is standing there holding a flashlight in a car accident while the real deputies go do the thing. You know what I mean? So it's not like, I don't think it'd be anything like that. But I'm just kind of on the fence about it all. Eagle Over Texas says that's because you didn't beat your neighbor down.
Oh.
Inside information as well, says Hippocrates. That's actually really good information because you get issued a radio. I mean, I carry armed anyway, right? So that doesn't change anything for me. But the other thing it also does, it allows me to carry in an airport, allows me to carry in a school, right? Allows me to carry in all those places that typically a bank, where you typically aren't supposed to carry. And then also across state lines, you go into Illinois, which doesn't have reciprocity. It can take care of some of that too. So I would love to hear if anybody has any thoughts on whether that'd be a good idea or a bad idea, how that would,
anything that you can think of that would be
that would positively impact the community or negatively impact the community. As Johnny says, certainly pray for discernment in it, guys. I am as anti-establishment as they come. I think that our government and the rules and both at the federal level, the state level, and the local level have done nothing but enslaved its people. But I just think there's some good that could come from it. And so, again, I'm just thinking about it, in my head. Big Kid says do it. Having been in a part-time LEO near Memphis, the main reason I quit was no continuing training. I took a part-time course, so I had enough knowledge to be dangerous. You know what's funny about that, Hippocrates? I shoot pretty regularly. And, I'd be willing to bet I would outshoot 99% of all of them anyway. That part's fine.
He's probably not talking about that. He's probably talking about.
Yeah. Amy B says power corrupts. Yeah. And absolute power does corrupt. Absolutely. It says, do you really want to be a mobile traffic cone? No, not really. But again, would it help the community? I'm really on the fence on this. And Amy, I get your point. I think, Amy, what you're saying is,
if they're asking, there's probably a need.
Yeah. Tag, it'd be great for tactics, training, and knowledge. Hippocrates says, all I did was ride with others or drive the car around for visibility or to back up the full times. Yeah, it's definitely got its perks. Yeah, commonly referred to as telephone or utility poles. They originated in the mid-1800s as telegraph poles for telegraph lines. Yeah. Did they require the jab? Not where I live. So I'm super, super lucky. We live in a county that has a constitutional sheriff. So they didn't do any of that here. But traffic cones make cute hates, though.
Hats, probably.
Hats. Traffic cones make cute hats, maybe.
Probably.
Heidi, have you been diving into the rhubarb wine tonight? Remember, time. It takes time. Yes, for sure.
Time.
Yes, for sure. And I do not have a lot of time.
Yes.
I outshot my ex, who was a PO, every time I would go qualify with him. Yeah. Eagle Lover says, is Hoyt in that county? Yes, it is. Yep. Hoyt, the main towns would be Hoyt, Meta, and Holton, but there's a few others, Circleville and Soldier and, some of the other ones. Hilltop says, I wonder if the sheriffs nationwide could commission reserve deputies, but only activate them if things get worse and if situations warrant it. Conservative reserve deputies. I mean, yeah, it doesn't say that.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like, though, right?
Yeah, I just don't know. Spag, so this will be interesting. So Spag was a cop. So that was a cop for 16 years, and I would never be a city cop. Local deputy, maybe, but only if the sheriff wasn't a tool. We have a great sheriff. If it wasn't for the sheriff that we have, I would not even be considering this. I wouldn't even be remotely interested. But I've seen him tell his deputies, you're not allowed to go on that property unless you're either in hot pursuit or you have a warrant. You stay off people's properties. I mean, so he's a constitutional sheriff. And so that would be ultimately your boss, right? In that particular case. I don't know. I don't know if I'm overthinking it. I don't know. I probably don't have time anyway.
Right. Time.
Right.
You said that. Miley said that time. It takes time.
It absolutely takes time. What else I got here?
And that's a lot of.
Yep.
Because it would not be the most convenient of times either.
No.
Right? The drunk that's driving that gets into a car accident and stops the highway is going to be in the middle of the night. And that's going to be the
Well, but police departments all over the country, sheriff's department, they're having a really hard time having staff, having a hard time getting enough people out there. And so even in our county, and although we have a constitutional sheriff, still the same thing. So we can offer additional security to our community, right? I can build that rapport. I can do those things, but again, at what cost? And I think that's Catherine Sword says, I know B would love to see you in uniform, the badge with the silver bullet. Say it, girl. Say it.
Say it.
Say it. Say, I would love that.
I would love that.
State jobs here required the vaccine. My son just got on with a state job when they implemented that. He got fired simply for attending a protest against it. Now he has a better job in the city. Oh, good for him. Many municipalities, including here in Kansas, are considering making the sheriff an appointed position. If there was ever something to oppose, it's removing the choice. Totally agree. Sheriff is the only constitutionally recognized law enforcement. Why are they needing reserve deputies now? How bad exactly is the cartel involvement here? I have to question. You know what? From what I understand, they just have a hard time hiring people, and but everybody is, right? And
right. Well, you just said that there's counties all over the U.S. that are having.
Well, I mean, they go through the whole defund the police movements, and
that makes sense.
They go through all of that stuff, and this would not be a regular job. This would be in the case of an emergency,
right?
It'd be like the
holding
reserves.
A flashlight while the
right. Or could you muster an extra 30 or 40 people in the case of a significant event,
like a run on Walmart,
or a school shooting, or whatever it is, because we live in a very sparsely populated area. It would do all of those things. So I don't know. I don't know. Our city does not require the workers to get vaccinated. Most of them are not. Good. Reserve sheriff deputies only get called out in unusual circumstances. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it'd be a big deal. I don't think I would spend a lot of time doing it. But RN, good night to you.
Yes, good night.
Johnny says police enforcement equals policy enforcement. But Johnny, here's the thing. And I agree with this, except here's the thing. I would get to choose. Right? I mean, at the end of the day,
right,
I would not follow an unconstitutional law.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
Right.
That'd be the end of it.
Good luck.
And they could say, well, then can't do it anymore. Well, that's fine.
Right. You're not supposed to be here.
Right. I mean, so I think, the police officer has the choice. Jules says, I thought a sheriff was an appointed position everywhere. No, it's supposed to be elected. Let me see. Does your community have EMS services? Yes. Our community actually it's run by the county. So the county has their own EMS service here. If it comes to shooting, very likely something earlier in the situation went wrong. Other than those few really bad actors, just listen to the scanner. Most calls are BS. Yeah. Your time is more valuable than the hoops to jump through, says Amy B. Do you need to take a junior college course for POTA, Police Officer Training Academy? No, I don't think I'd actually have to take any course. I think it's just something that would be a reserve, but I think the point's fair. We all know that B has the final say on you becoming a deputy tech. I don't know about the final say, but she's certainly got a big say. Tag, if you became a deputy, you would have to watch for me. I've already thrown cops off my property and they stay away from me. But I think this is the point right here, is that I don't think by being a reserve deputy, I have to go and do something unconstitutional. I mean, I'm in a great spot for that, right? We have a constitutional sheriff. We have a lot of great things going for us. But anyway, I don't know. We voted for our sheriff, says Rickster. Yep. Let me see. Eagle Lover says, I worked for the sheriff's department for 9 years. We need people in those positions that will make the right choices. See, Rain Country, I kind of agree with this too. Maybe you could make a difference, But what if the county commissioner tells you to enforce a policy that's not law? I won't do it. How about that?
Right.
Johnny, I won't do it. And guys, if I can walk away from a big career that did all of that, I promise you I have the courage to stand up to the county commissioners. I promise you. City police chief is usually appointed by the city council. Sheriffs are supposed to be elected. Yeah. and you get to look forward to mace training.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I did it in the Army. Well, not mace training, but I went to the gas chambers in the Army.
Yeah, and here.
If you're not training with the regulars, how can you operate efficiently and safely with them? Why I got off. If I'm not training, I'm a possible liability. It's a good point. My daughter is now an officer for the Department of Agriculture, still a cop, but a different kind of cop. Yep. I would do it under that either. I remember one question we were asked in the police academy is if we pulled mom over for speeding or XYZ and needed to make an arrest, what would we do? Yeah, I don't think I would ever be in a position where I'm pulling people over for speeding. You know, it's just a reserve in case of a big catastrophe. And I think we got a big catastrophe on its way. I mean, I try to think about it that too. Autumn Dawn says my late father-in-law was part of the fire police. They get called out to direct traffic away from accidents, part of the volunteer fire department.
Okay.
Yeah, missing children searches and things of that nature. Yeah, Johnny says excellent answer tag. Yeah, Johnny, I have no problem taking a stand, but none, zero. I'll do it 100% of the time. I already did, So that's not it. The question is, can we take it back? And it starts with all kinds of things, right? It starts with the county commissioners and the school boards and all of these things. But I think the sheriff's deputy is, another good one there too. I don't know if I want to donate the time, and I don't know if I could make enough dent, but I could certainly see some good that could come from it.
Well, and again, they wouldn't be asking if there was not a need.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And there was 2 people from our community that were asked. So that'd be kind of neat too, right? Because
2? They only need 2 people?
No, I'm talking, they asked a lot of people. I'm talking about there was 2 in our community that were asked.
In the whole community,
yeah,
there's only 2 people?
No. You're not listening to me. 2 from our community was asked. They're trying to put a reserve force of about 20 people together. 2 people from our community was asked.
The Northeast Kansas community.
Yep. It's an honorable position, law enforcement. Our son is an officer, and it's difficult to find them. According to Rom 13, the authorities are a minister of God's hand. Read it for yourself. Well, they might say that they are, but I would tell you that law enforcement is corrupt at almost every level. And not all of them. And I'm not saying that there are not great cops, because there are absolutely great cops.
Yes, there are.
Just like there's great teachers. And I would tell you the school system is super corrupt. And there are great ministers and preachers. And I would put the church as one of the most corrupt of all of them. I just would. Tag emergencies in a rural environment usually equate to a school shooting. Keep that in mind. Yeah, I get it. But here's the thing with that. I mean, if that is going on, I mean, I want a whole bunch of vets like me and the guy, that we hang out with. We'll go deal with that. That's fine. And what more honorable thing to go defend than our kids?
Well, and that's what Hippocrates is saying, that if 20 guys, deputy whatevers, were storming the school who had a active shooter, then none of these 20 guys or humans have any kind of training, then potential dangers could happen with, get your finger off the trigger when you're
Yeah, Hippocrates says what reserves do depends on where you are. Around here, it's not odd at all for them to patrol sometimes. Yeah, I think what they're trying to do here is just put together a bigger force in case of a bigger emergency, is what I think. But in a catastrophe, you would have to put the community first and leave your family to fend for themselves. Great topic. You like that?
Yeah, who said that?
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. It can also just be extra bodies for festival parades and things. Yeah. Good night, Spags. And I am telling you, Romans 13 says the honorable ones are a minister of God's hand, respectfully. Yeah, and I would agree the honorable ones are. Yeah, I don't think there's very many of them, but I would agree with that. Make sure Romans 13 is being read in its entire context, not just the chapter, but the Bible as a whole. Question is time. Yeah, I agree. And I don't have a lot of time. I'm super busy all the time. Daniel disobeyed the king when the law was not just. Yeah, and I there was zero chance I would follow any order that was unconstitutional. Cul-de-sac says, I grew up with a dad who was a volunteer assistant fire chief. He would drive around town with a bullhorn calling out for people to take cover while mom was in the basement with us kids using a plotting map. I would assume she's talking about like tornadoes, would be my guess.
Maybe.
So did many other God-fearing people through the Bible. Yeah. He, not we. We kids did not ride in the fire truck and tornadoes. Dad did. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Miley says, take your hat off and read it and pray on that. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm really struggling with this one. This is not a super easy one for me because I think if we're going to infiltrate and take the system back, we have to infiltrate and take the system back.
Right.
It doesn't,
you have to be a part of it in order to be a
right.
part of it to make it happen. You have to do part of it.
Right.
You have to do your part plus a little bit.
In the U.S., the Constitution is the higher power, and God is the highest power over all. You couldn't pay me enough to be a regular officer, but I would gladly give a hand in emergency situations. Yep. Perhaps too much wine in the cul-de-sac tonight. I'm not making much sense. No, I think you're making plenty of sense. I think your point, cul-de-sac, about having to leave my family is a big one.
Yeah.
I say in the middle of a crisis, you need to protect your family, says Gypsy. I think that's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Be part of something bigger than yourself. Yeah, you know what, Rick, sure I am. And you know what? And this is the thing that's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Is that it's the discernment of where to put my attention. Because maybe where my attention is best served is continue to find properties, continue to build community, continue to go speak about freedom, that really that's where I can do the most good. And that all of these other things are distractions. Right. And I think you have to have discernment.
Right. Good.
Into that, right?
Good point.
Mm-hmm. But again, having discernment is having discernment. And the other could opposite, could be true as well. That getting involved and doing that helps strengthen the community here. You're right. Helps build those links. I mean, so it's a discernment issue. Right. We need more law enforcement who enforce laws, not policy. Johnny, I could not agree more. Could not agree more. Let me see here. And follow the Constitution. Yeah. I mean, I think, and even that, I think at the end of the day, the police department, much like any other, of those, and work for the people and are paid for by the people. And they're supposed to be, servants of the people.
Yeah.
Right. And, I would not mind offering an additional level of security at a school event.
Right.
I would do that anyway. I mean, they could call me and say, hey, we've got the Christmas program. Do you mind going armed? Sure, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll do that 100% of the time.
Right. Or a horrible accident on the highway.
Yeah.
Or, a mob at Walmart.
Yeah.
But in the event of, Red Dawn happening and people are parachuting into the neighborhood, then I don't want you to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Skin Girl says it starts locally. Hippocrates says, so how does one defend their family? Sometimes that means going, not staying. Otherwise, we would not be able to field a military. 100%.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, you're putting people on a checkpoint or you're whatever in order to protect your family. I'm not right here protecting them, but I'm protecting, the area. So it's hard to say. It is not a decision to take lightly for sure.
Yeah.
There's a reason that first responders are considered heroes. Yeah. Build a private security for your community and facilitate help like Bear Independent, but retain autonomy and refuse an immoral order. Yeah, I would absolutely refuse an immoral order. I have no problem with that part. How else would you all work to make change happen? Doing that is a good place to start. Well, there's a lot of ways, Jules. And again, this is what me and B were just talking about. Where can I make the biggest dent and where can I best serve my community? Is that going and finding land and helping people build barns and is that the, and then going and speaking and talking about freedom all over the country? Because guys, the truth is, had I not done that, if I hadn't made the decision not to go speak at different events, there are 4 or 5 people who live in our community today that would not be here. They wouldn't even know about it. Right.
Yeah. And
so that's made some positive steps. And so again, you only have so much time in the day, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just hard to know, What does a mob at Walmart look like? Spandex and platform shoes. Tag Amy B says, Tag, you are a rugged individualist original. You can go to city council meetings and make a difference that way. To be a voice for the freestanding community around you, etc. The sheriff can hire any fella. Amy B, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Where am I best served?
Yeah.
Right? This is exactly what we're talking about.
Because when you just got done saying, like maybe doing freesteading and doing these talks all over and helping put the word out about land and helping put the land, not just land here, but land, in surrounding states too, the century farms and such that you have been helping with. So, I kind of always thought like that was where you were supposed to be. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing is reaching out to people and helping people yoke up and helping people kind of find their path into this. But I also see the community thing and being able to.
Well, and maybe this reserve is for somebody else and just not me. Because there's great community people in our community who could go do that. Maybe I'm best served on that national stage trying to have these conversations, right? I don't know. I mean, I just thought it was such an interesting topic, and I knew we would have a huge conversation about it, Drums Live says you have to be prepared to see things that you can never unsee. I'd be fine with that.
Really?
Maybe I was a soldier. I mean,
I know, but there's some things that just.
Yeah. Cul-de-sac says, when you are the first responder, your spouse and your family is part of that role. I remember feeling enormously proud of my dad's bravery. He always rushed towards the danger if there was a need. That sounds like my kind of guy. The chief probably asked you because you exuded courage, patriotism, and knowledge of the Constitution. I agree with him, but maybe you need to skip the police force and run for mayor. It's a thought. Yeah. See, I don't want to get into politics. I've been asked a whole bunch of times about running, and I just do not think I can make a dent because
that's a lot of time.
We have a community member who is the chairman of the Republican Party for Jackson County. And he hits roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock because they don't want, they don't want him to succeed at that constitutional effort, right? I'm talking about the nationwide, the Republican Party nationwide. And so I will not be running for, well, I don't want to say I will not ever, but I don't feel called to do that. Hippocrates, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Towards Joy and Freedom says, you are a tremendous force multiplier doing what you're doing now, Tag. You made a significant impact. Thank you.
Yeah.
And like I said, maybe that towards Joy and Freedom, maybe that's where I'm best served.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe that's the thing that I really need to go champion and let the other things fall to other people. Maybe. I mean, I think that would make some sense. Yeah. Gypsy said, we wouldn't be relocating without you doing what you do. Yeah. See, two back-to-back statements that are exactly the same, which that's right.
Yeah.
Might be difficult to be the king of Taganistan and county deputy at the same time. Oh, I'd rock it. No, I considered adding that, but did not want to offend those who actually need them. Okay, so Johnny says we're
because Johnny said,
got it.
The motorized scooters.
Yeah. Amy B says, I'm being selfish, but I really treasure the community freesteading that it has been built. Amy, thank you.
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. I would not have asked the question if I didn't want you guys' answers. If I was just going to go do it, I would just go do it, right? But at the end of the day, all of us are smarter than I am. And I love all of these, different topics, and it'll help guide me and help me make good decisions. Because at the end of the day, I mean, good decisions where it's at, right? But I can tell you guys that we have to take our communities back. That doesn't mean I have to take the community back, right?
No, but
we have to take the community back. And for those of you guys who are on the chat, who have bought land down here, or who are going to buy, or who are looking at land, I'm telling you, you guys will hear me say over and over and over again, we got to get the county commissioners. We need 2 of the 3 because we can change the law then. We can change taxes, right? Whether it's the sheriff's deputy, the school boards, the city councils, the more we can penetrate all of those, the safer our entire community is. Now, I can't do them all.
Right.
Right. And so, yeah. So you're not being selfish at all, Amy B. You're looking out for us. And I appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that. And
she's got a point, though.
It's just hard to know what's right. I'm committed to build the community. Right. Yes. I mean, this. I am super committed to do this. It's just, I don't always know the way. I'm flawed like everybody else. So.
Right. And it's hard to know just which windows you're supposed to close, which doors you're supposed to walk through, which
Right.
You know, you feel the draft and you're like, oh, should I? And then you're like, wait a minute. And just like now, you're like, okay, I have this opportunity, but I have this other things that I'm kind of still like working on and kind of feel pulled to do. And it's, you know.
I feel the most pulled to go build community. I mean, my biggest pull on me is how
to travel and to
well, it's not just no, it's not that. It's not that. That's just the best way I have found to do it. If there was another way to do it, I would do it that way. But it's about, how do we take from what used to be 2 homesteads here and now is 30 or 40, right? How do we continue to do that? How do we get the county so full of freedom loving, like-minded, constitutional based, grow your own food, treat your own, right? Personal responsibility, people who will take accountability for what happens. The more we do that, the safer we're going to be as a whole. Right. Guys know Indiana Mike, who bought land here. I am safer because he's here. Right. Because that's just another front. And so that's the thing I'm most drawn to do. What I don't always understand is what's the best path.
Maybe you are supposed to continue on the stage so that the people that are coming in can do the deputies and the mayors and the maybe councilmen or whatever, so that you're bringing them in so that they can find their positions.
Yeah, maybe it's about discernment, and I just don't know the answer.
Yeah, but it is hard when somebody comes up to you and says,
yes.
This I kind of need you in this role, and you're like, oh, my roles are full.
Yeah. Jules says she loves this conversation. The dialogue is fantastic. Heck yeah. Indiana Mike says, we're glad you made the round speaking. Yeah, I'm glad too.
Yeah.
I've grown to be, good friends with a lot of these Indiana Mike, to be included, LJC to be included, just a lot of them because of it. But I just want to make sure that I'm pushing the string in the right direction and that, I'm just doing the right thing in it. But it's hard, guys, because I don't know the way. LJC says, maybe ask what the duties would be. Seems like there is a variety of possibilities. Also, does ego play into this? It is flattering to be offered a job. How much could you actually influence? Yeah, well, it's really not flattering to be offering a job that pays nothing. Right? I mean, or next to nothing or whatever it is. But I don't know if I could influence or not. I don't know. This is why I brought the whole conversation up. This was new information to me today. This happened today. So I haven't even slept on it. I haven't thought it through. I haven't anything, but I seen a whole bunch of negative, and then instantly I seen some positive. And so I just wrote it down and said, hey, I'm going to ask everybody tonight.
Well, as far as being the influence, I mean, they know that you would go.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you're on stage in Toledo, you can't go.
Yeah.
And if there's 20 positions and 19 people are available, and there's a tragedy that they need 20 people.
Hippocrates makes a good point. Says, I don't want to be too morbid. However, I believe if more people had witnessed true evil, they would be able to recognize it earlier and be more prepared to combat it as a first encounter. Tag, what all is involved in becoming a reserve deputy? They just deputize you. Like there's no training other than you go to the range with them if you want to and those kind of things. But I'm an avid shooter, so that's fine for me. But I think it's really just a reserve force that they could call up. Hey, we need all hands on deck. And you'd get, a whole bunch of, rednecks, me included, rushing towards whatever the issue was.
Kind of does sound like a volunteer fire department type of situation.
Well, the sheriff,
she had said.
I know the sheriff, and the sheriff knows that I was a, combat soldier. And I've done some business with the sheriff's department, so they know me. I'm not super active by any means, but so anyway, super interesting. Let me see here. Hippocrates says, our sheltering from seeing the extremes, bad and good, limits one's perspective. Those with a send me Lord attitude make the biggest difference. You can reach people in a way that most people aren't able. Yeah. And that's the thing is, how do I reach? Most? Well, not just reach them. How do I make a positive impact? Right.
Well, you're reaching them, not just getting in front of them, but you're reaching to their cores.
Jules says, there you have it, Tag. You're being pulled to where you're supposed to be. Yeah, but the question isn't that. So I'm being pulled to build community, not just here, primarily here, but anywhere else as well. And so how do I best accomplish that goal? Maybe sometimes we just plant the seed. Maybe. The lady that sits with my mom sometimes also works as a coroner part-time. Yeah, no thanks.
As a what? Coroner?
Yeah. Towards Joy and Freedom says wise counsel. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, you guys are all smarter than I am, and collectively, right? I mean, all of us are smarter than one of us. So this has been a great conversation. Mr. Rain says, Tag, I've been quietly listening. What I hear is a sucking sound. If you do join, it will consume you. Amy B says, Tag, you don't realize how original you are. I have a strange gift that I can look at a person and say, you are where you are supposed to be. Yeah, Amy, what I'm really trying to figure out is the answer. Is this where I'm supposed to be? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I driving in the right direction? And it's just hard sometimes. Yeah, Grumpy says you say it every day. I don't know what I say every day. I think I just blew right by it, didn't I? Oh, right there. Yep. Let me see here. Carrie Davis says you have to say no sometimes so someone else can say yes. Totally agree, Carrie. Totally agree. And yeah, like I said, this got on me today, and I was out there building my wood rack, for all my wood. And I was just thinking about it. And I was trying to think, okay, what's the good that could come? And I do this on everything, right? What do you stand to win? What do you stand to lose? Pretty much on everything. And I could find good in both sides, but I really don't have the time. If I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, I'm swamped. But
yeah, there's two times in a month that you're gone.
Yeah. So anyway, let me see. Tag, if you take the job, if shit hits fans, B would be alone. Yep. Tag, it may be better to influence others who are like-minded to join instead. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And maybe we want to stay completely away from it. Although I could argue having some good connections inside the sheriff's department of our local county, I could see some super value in. If you have some areas of outreach to extend to, but you don't need to make a full jump shift like politics, you are mostly where you need to be. Yeah, I like that. You're in your niche. Stay the course, says Chris. Yeah, I feel pretty good about the work that we're doing. I think to make a good decision, Tag needs some dessert. Now there is a wise man.
Hippocrates, come on,
dude,
man.
Good looking out. I had dessert. Now, in fairness, she did bring me up ice cream before the live tonight, but I don't want to live in the past because today is today.
Because this second is this second.
This second is the second. Squash pie? Nope. In this country, the reserves had to go to school on that county.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. LJC says, Tag, you're a connector. Your talent is in selling the dream in a good way. Your gift is bringing people together. You are intelligent and motivated, and others see that and want that. God, I hope I don't let people down.
So she's telling you that you should not be out holding flashlights.
Yeah. I think I lean that way too. Like if I had to, if I was forced into a decision right now, I would say no. But it's just the other side of it is I can just see the real good that could come from it.
Well, yeah.
And so anyway.
And if there wasn't a need, they would not be asking.
Yep. Let's see, if you could join and not be worried to death about all the politics and it didn't consume your time, it would be a good thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't do everything. Maybe it's time to look for the guardians in your community to make the connections. Yeah, man, maybe that's exactly it. In Autumn Dawn, I think this is a super good point, is that, and the only way the community really thrives is if all of us get involved. Yeah. We all got to get in the fight.
Yeah.
Now, my fight is going to be different than Grumpy's fight, which is going to be different than Spags' fight, which is going to be different than Data's fight or Indiana Mike's fight. But I think it's critical we all get in the fight. And, that could be something as simple as you guys have mentioned before, attending the county commissioners meetings. We have a community member who goes to every single one of them and just be that thorn, right? And make sure they know that, they're there. And so I 100% agree with this point, that everyone's got to get in the fight. It's just trying to make sure I'm on the right fight, After SRF, I would say our calling for G and I is to continue to be exposed by sharing. Traveling and speaking was affirmation for me, at least. I think if there was a catastrophe, you would step up anyway, Tag, even without an official role. You will fill the gaps in your community at some point, one way or the other. Oh, yeah. We are pulled in many ways, directions, and we have to know how to pick and choose for all those that depend on you. Discernment, right? This is exactly the point, right? Exactly the point.
Maybe she's saying you're hawking.
That I'm hawking? Mm-hmm. What's that mean?
Like on a.
What's hawking?
Hawking, the like on a.
Do you even know?
Like on Jericho.
What's hawking?
The black guy Hawkins.
Oh, Hawkins. Okay.
I said Hawkins. You said Hawkins.
Mm-hmm. So I don't mean what that mean. You mean just like.
Just because she said that.
Hawkins was a spy hiding in a community.
Well, not necessarily. He ended up being like that.
Didn't think that one through, did you, B?
Not. I forgot about that point. But he was in the community and he was like, hey, can you come and help me with this gas tank? Hey, can you come and help, put this fire out? Hey, can you come and help?
Catherine says as a deputy, you might get more cinnamon rolls.
Probably.
Would I get more from you, though?
Not from me.
Yeah.
But somebody will make them.
In a lot of cases, a warm, willing body, they will pester you silly about everything from tasks to politics. Okay. Yep. I have to ask the Lord the same thing nearly every day. Florida Mama Bear says, I agree with LJC. Tag, look deep into B's eyes and that will make your decision. All I see when I look into her eyes is creme brulee.
Mm-hmm. Because you just made that video.
If you could be that silent partner in the reserves, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Remember when we join up with something, we play by their rules, whether you think it's the right move. If you have a wife that will help you build community, that's where you need to be. Yeah. Hey, Ghetto, good evening. What's up? Man, we've been in a deep conversation, like hawk and a loogie.
Waiting for you to show up, Ghetto. Like hawk and a loogie. Yes, Jonathan. Justice
of the peace, then you could carry and marry. Figure you may get called, but just for the real times of need, it's just not the same as being on the weekly schedule to work. And I don't need another job. I'm not looking for another job.
No.
I've got plenty of stuff I do every day, but anyway, I still think there just could be some good things, that would come from all of that. So I'll continue to ponder and those kind of things. But I thought at least it was an interesting topic, and I can't tell all of you guys enough how much I appreciate your feedback and your honesty. And I love that we have a community that we can kind of just be straight with each other.
Well, and they came up with a lot of good points, things that we didn't think about.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just learning this, but things that didn't come up to me right at first.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's neat that there's people out there who feel comfortable to say, hey, and nobody said it in this way, but Tag, don't be a dumbass.
Right.
I love this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I heard somebody say don't be a dumbass.
Well, I'd never read actual dumbass, but you know what I'm saying? But I actually appreciate this. I wish more people would be like this. Because I'll never take offense to it. I appreciate it. And I don't want to get distracted on my mission, but I want to accomplish my mission. But I just don't understand what my mission is. I'm a mess. I'm a mess.
A Christian thing to think about. What should I be doing? Show me the way, Lord. Show me the signs.
Yeah.
Show me the signs.
Yep. Well. Anyway, I think that's interesting, and you guys rock, and I really appreciate the conversation. I thought it was super interesting and super deep, So you got anything else you want to talk about tonight? Because I'm all through my list.
I am all through. I was on a different page, but yes, I'm through my list too, I think.
Oh, I got one more thing I want to talk about.
We stand to live another day.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a few of these. Tough. It's a tough call. Having your finger on the pulse of things coming ahead of time does have its benefits. See, I think this is a great point too, right? Right.
You said that.
Skanes girl.
Yeah. Thanks for putting that in my head.
For one thing, it shows this community values public service and you as well to put thought into responses. Yeah, guys, I love it. Got to go see if the tornadoes are slowing down. Be safe. Autumn Dawn, please be safe.
Yes, everyone
Yeah.
be safe.
Miley says, be speaking the truth. Yeah. Okay, so highlights, real quick, a couple quick things. So don't forget the Midwest Preparedness Project is goodness.
The end of April?
Yep, 3 weeks away. Right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so super exciting. I can't wait to go and just totally chill and relax and chit chat with people. And
yeah, let us know if you're coming.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people coming, but yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're still debating on how we're going to pull off camping there because I'd like to stay out there as much as I can, but we have animals, and so we're just going to have to figure out how to manage it. The good news is I live 30 minutes from there, so it's not that big a deal.
I will be here. If you want to camp, I can bring you food.
Yeah. Eagle Over Texas says, if you are so connected, Tag, then you will be informed of what's coming. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll get heads up, but maybe not.
I think, yeah.
Right?
I think on a different level.
On a completely different level, yeah. Would you have to shave? Very important question.
Oh.
Hippocrates.
Would you care?
No, I don't really care.
I was going to say, this is all new. This is not
new. A year and 5 months. 4 months. I've had it for a year and 4 months.
Right, because you did not. Yes.
That's right. Right. I started growing it on Christmas Day, not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before. So that's all I had. So I would, yeah. But I would absolutely shave my beard if it meant I could help the community. Yeah. Like I said, I would do it, says Big Kid. Yep. Brickster says, Tag, you already served the masses. Yep. Good evening, Tag and B and the Freedom people. Hey, Porterhouse, what's going on? Hey, I had so much fun with you. Hanging out at the Airbnb and just being silly and doing a live together. And, it was great. Your speech that you gave at SRF was amazing. And for anybody who don't follow Porterhouse Till, you need to go follow Porterhouse Till. He's got a great channel, does great stuff, and apparently pisses YouTube off all the time. So that's also a good thing.
I saw that.
Yeah. Jonathan said, can't wait. I need a vacation. Well, you don't have to be the one as long as someone in your community. You'd be surprised at how much I know from the sitter who works closely with the Popo. Yeah. Towards Joy and Freedom said, hey, Porterhouse. Yep. Jonathan, I'll be up the whole week. So before camping starts, so I can drop by for some time if you all are around. Oh, yeah, we'll be here, bud.
Are you bringing those coconut things?
You like
Jonathan?
Those?
Yeah, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Maytag or Jonathan is quite the cook. Yep. Actually does a lot of things really good. For the little bit of space that he uses, it not amazes me. That's not the right word. I'm impressed. By the success level. Yeah. Amy B says battery 1%. Hey, Amy B, I love having you around. Keep hammering me. I like it. Don't stop. I appreciate it more than you know.
He needs it.
I do. Yeah, Jules says, I can't wait. It's all I think about. I'm always checking the calendar. Yeah, we're close. And it'll be good. And Bartertown, bring stuff to Barter. Bartertown's one of my favorite events. I love the potluck.
Seed exchange.
Yep. Seed exchange. But really, it's just a camaraderie.
Yeah, just come and have a coffee.
Yeah, just sitting in a lawn chair and just chit-chatting. And it's just a lot of fun. And, the other thing is that, these people that we go camp with at that festival have known me for many, 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 many years. And, long before YouTube and long before all of this. So
geesh.
But it's nice because it's, they've seen my whole journey from, 20 years ago or 15 years ago and how it's grown and the changes that it's been made. So I'm really looking forward to it,
Yeah.
Jonathan says, I can bring some of those caramel chocolate stuff. Sure. Towards Joy, Porterhouse says, towards Joy and Freedom. It was so great meeting you at dinner. Yeah. We made some friends. It was super, super nice. And that's why I used our picture, Porterhouse, for that dinner that night with everybody as the thumbnail for this one, which is pretty cool. Tag, I can't think of things I might want to bring for Bartertown. I'm looking forward to visiting Kansas for the first time, says One Step Closer. Yeah, we're happy to have you guys. It's going to be so much fun.
Where are you at, One Step Closer? Where's One Step Closer?
Texas. I think he's in Texas. One Step Closer, you're in Texas, right, bud?
So camping, y'all need to make sure you bring your chair, make sure you bring your own food,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you bring your own pots and pans to cook your food.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually wood there to
Yep.
burn for fires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we've donated the wood the last two.
We I say we, but not me personally. The campgrounds are provided, so it's free to come and camp, but you need to bring your own amenities.
Yeah. Prepare for the weather, because chances are what it's going to be is probably 50s at night and 70s during the day, typically.
Probably.
But it could also, that time of year could also freeze and could also be 90.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So just, I would prepare for all of that stuff.
Yep. Rain.
Yep.
Maybe snow.
Cul-de-sac asks if the wood is free. So yeah, so somebody usually, we did the last 2 years, B and I donated it, but usually someone brings a cord of wood and drops it off. No one's asked me to donate it this year, so I don't think I will be doing it this year, but that's usually typically how it works. So yes, it's free. Everything's free there. Just take care of yourself. Bring your drinks, bring your
own food, bring your own drinks, bring your own.
Yeah. Porterhouse said, yeah, Tag likewise, brother. It was an amazing hanging out with you and the fellows. Yeah, it was so much fun. It was silly and you guys should have heard the conversation that went on off camera, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
It was awesome. Yep. And be prepared for the spring rain. That's another good one. Bring rain gear. Yep.
Yes. Yes. And your good attitude.
Yeah. And it could also be storming. Yep. Yeah. But if it rains, we'll deal with it, guys.
Yeah. Bring a good attitude. We had one time, the rain was so great that it created a river underneath somebody's tent. And so at first they were trying to like divert the water around the tent. And then the next day we got up and I think we moved the tent.
Yeah.
Because of it was just set up in a.
If it starts raining hard, I promise you, we will all get involved. We'll grab a big old tarp. We'll get it up in the air.
Kid friendly.
Yeah, we'll do the thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bring the kids. Bring the kids. Bring the kids. Bring the kids.
Usually pet friendly, but there are sometimes dogs running around without leashes. So if you have a dog that is a biter, just be prepared. Or a barker. Sometimes people don't want to hear your dog's bark
all night long.
And so try to keep that in mind. If you have extra, snackies, you can give them to quiet them. Yep. Same for the kids. Don't just tease them.
Yeah.
There's kids activities usually.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's 4 or 5 kids classes going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I have you seen activities?
No, but if you go, hold on a second.
Spreadsheet.
Hold on a second. Yes, hold on. I think it's all up now.
Itinerary.
I will pull it up right now. I can't believe this is the 20th one.
Usually there's
20.
people drinking alcohol. So just if you partake, do so. If you don't, just turn a blind eye if you don't.
Okay, so isn't that hilarious? Jeez. Okay, so guys, I'll give you real quick. Let me give you a rundown on what's going to go on. So Friday, so the classes will start on Friday. So, but we're going to camp Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wednesday and Thursday is hangout time. There's no
get in, set up.
There's no activities. So April the 28th is building your bug out bag. And then also on Friday will be chemical, biological, radiation, and nuclear, which will actually be taught by my oldest son, who was a Seaburn soldier in the Army. And it was neat. Spags had said to me, "Hey, Tag, it looks like we're passing the torch," and totally made me feel like they were putting me out to pasture. But it was quite funny. Anyway, and then Emergency and Renewable Power Solutions, which is a guy named Bill Clary, who owns a solar company that installs solar and generators and stuff like that. And then at 4:20 p.m. that night will be Callie Blackwell. That's the lady that wrote the book, The Boy in 7 Billion, which is a fascinating story. I'm super looking forward to it. Saturday, we're doing a girls' self-defense class. So the guy's going to come out in all the armor and the girls are going to kick his ass.
That's at 10:30 a.m.
Yep.
Saturday.
Yep. Preparedness Radio is giving a class.
At 1
at
o'clock.
1 o'clock. Harmony Hill Farmstead's going to give a class. To
Are
discuss,
they talking?
Yeah, they're going to talk about when hard times come. Jerks finish last.
Okay, so that's Saturday at
Yep.
3:30. So
Yep.
usually though, Saturday, if they talk from 3:30, they'll probably stay for the potluck,
Yeah.
which means that they might bring their instruments, and we might.
No, they will.
We might get a.
Yeah, they at the last one they were
concert.
Yeah, they were playing. Them and their kids were playing all their musical instruments around the fire,
Singing.
and it's mainly gospel type music. But so that'll be pretty cool. And then after the Harmony Hill Homestead, we do with the giveaways, because we have a bunch of people who donate things for the giveaways, Bartertown and the potluck. We'll go on that night.
Are they going to do an opportunity event?
Yeah, all the giveaways
on Saturday.
Yeah. So it looks like kids classes still say to be announced. So I don't know what they're doing, but they'll have 4 or 5 or 6.
So there's only 4 classes on Friday and 4 classes on Saturday, and then 4 kids classes on probably Saturday.
Yeah, that's it. And the rest of it's going to be hanging out and enjoying ourselves.
So there's no Sunday worship?
Sunday morning there'll be worship.
Okay.
Yeah, for those who want to be involved. Let's see, if you bake it, they will come. Yep. You better get ready. You're going to need some eggs soon. Yeah, we are piling up the eggs. Sometimes a sandwich will make them show up. Sometimes. I know, been cleaning and organizing everything. Build a coop. Camped for many years. One summer, it rained so much, we just gave up shoes and long pants. Yeah. Starla says, I'll actually be in Dallas next week. My husband has a neuropsych appointment for damage to the brain from a semi-wreck. Oh, I hope he's okay. Yep. So anyway, Midwest Preparedness Project, 3 weeks. It's very different than all the rest of the festival. It is literally a hangout time.
Yeah, it's hangout.
There's not, the speakers and then the crowd. It's all one big circle where we hang out.
When they do the classes, there's a speaker up.
Yeah, but more what I mean is like a lot of times at like SRF and a lot of those other places, even in Georgia, you would speak and retreat to the green room, and a lot of times, right? Because there's so much stuff going on. It's one thing, then the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing, and the next thing, the whole time. When the Midwest Preparedness Project is a little bit of things going on and mostly hanging out, so it's just different, but good. And I'm not knocking any of the other ones. The other ones are great too. It's just completely a different. Here, I'm going to put this in here real quick in case anybody wants it. I'm going to post a link here.
There you go.
Yep, there you go.
You don't need tickets.
Nope, it's free, guys.
Free. You show up last minute. You can, let us know you're coming. You can just show up last minute. You could show up a day late. You could come and go as you please. Stay in a hotel and come for the day.
Yep. That's important to talk about. So there's people who sleep in hammocks, tents, campers, hotels, Airbnbs.
The one guy just brought his cot, no tent, and just slept in his undies and on his
that was weird.
On his cot.
Yeah. So
remember, because it was like a whole thing.
It was hot. But anyway, One Step Closer says, but what dessert does B want at the camp out?
We usually do
dump cake.
Dump cakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the girls like to get into these cooking in a cast iron Dutch oven, right?
Well, it's not that that's just how
it's good.
That's how you cook on a fire if you want a cake.
It's a blast. You'll never find a better festival with awesome people. It's way more hangout, guys. It's not as much like a lot of the festivals, but we do this on the purpose. That's why we keep it free. It's why we do a lot of that. John says the question was, what does she want, not what she will make?
Oh, yes. I want apple. I know you hate apple.
I don't hate apple. It's just not on the top of my list.
Like cinnamon apple.
Something with apple, she says.
Yeah. But that's not his favorite. He likes cherries. Rhubarb.
Yeah. I make a great chocolate cake in a cast iron skillet. Yeah, we'd love that. Cast iron cupcakes.
I'd like to know how to do that. Mm-hmm. I'd watch that. Dutch
oven dessert contest. We've had a few of those.
Yeah.
Cul-de-sac says it's a preparedness festival. No, people stay in B&Bs for a preparedness festival. Yes.
Yep.
They do.
Because it takes all kinds in this world.
Yep. Well, and the other thing too is there's people who are driving a long, long, long ways away and would rather just stay in a hotel come out during the day and be able to go sleep. And because, the fire ring where everyone sits around goes sometimes till, 1, 2 o'clock in the
all
morning.
night long.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I never make it that long, but Tamara says she can send you a recipe. One step closer is I have a great recipe for apple pecan pie. She'd be all about that.
You would not eat that, would you?
Yeah, I would. Babe, there's
apple is not your favorite. Pecans are not your favorite.
No, but they're both delicious. I just
you're like, if I have a choice of that or nothing,
I would have that over a lot of things. I would take that over a store-bought cookie.
Huh.
It's just I would rather have a cherry pie. I'd rather have a rhubarb pie. I'd rather have there's just so many above it.
Yeah, coconut.
Yeah, but I love it either way. So but I bet he likes chocolate. I do like chocolate. Specifically chocolate.
Not a lot though. You don't need a lot of chocolate.
No, I drink chocolate milk every day.
Yeah, but you don't need a lot of like chocolate pies and candies and
no. Cheesecake contest, that sounds good. Over a squash cupcake. No. Grateful Hearts over a squash cupcake. No. See, Tamara Smith right there. Cherry Crunch is good. See, I would put that like Cherry Crunch way above an apple pie.
Like a crisp?
Yeah, like a crisp or something like that.
Cherry Crunch.
Yep. All right. Well, guys, I think we're through it. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go to bed. It's been a nice, beautiful, long day, but a productive day. And you got any final words?
Final words.
Yeah. So what are your final thoughts about discernment and about all of the things we talked about tonight?
I think that if you are living life and learning lessons but not implementing them, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Everything takes action. Right?
Yeah. Action. Thank you.
I speak.
Yeah. Yes. Because if you're learning it and learning it and learning it and you're not changing your stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my parting words are going to be that, we talked about the fire, right? And how the community came together.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We talked about the trip down to SRF where we poked fun at each other, but in the end, we all came to each other's aid. Right. We talked about this and I mentioned that, when the shit hits the fan or when you're in trouble, who you're going to call, and whoever you're going to call, are they going to come?
Yeah.
Because this matters. And so I think my parting words would be surround yourself with people who make you better. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better every single day. This is why I love you guys. You know what? We were talking about the cop thing. And there was people on both sides of the fence, but you guys were honest and direct. These are the people I want to spend my time around, right? There's a million people standing in line to tell me what I want to hear. Don't surround yourself with those kinds of people, right? But you got to be tolerant, right? You got to be willing to accept the fact that you don't know everything. You got to be willing to accept the fact that you're flawed. I'm flawed just like everybody else is. I don't know the way. I'm winging it just like everybody else is, whether that be on the homestead, right? Whether that be out speaking, whether that be on how do we get the community back? I don't know the way, but together I think we can come up with a way. And I think we're all smarter together. So I think I just say that, community matters totally, and surround yourself with people who make you better. Anything else?
Totally.
Totally, dude. Totally. All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Have a great night.
Be out.
Yep. See you guys.